Live from Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium in Jackson, Mississippi. This is the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi Gridiron Classic. Tonight we've got a pair of 12 and 2s colliding for the Class 6A crown. It's the Bulldogs from nearby Brandon against the Tigers from South Panola. Good evening, everyone. Will Colmeyer alongside Matt Wyatt. The third member of our team, Sharita Brent, will join us in just a bit down on the field. An intriguing matchup tonight, Matt. In fact, some media outlets in Mississippi this week have taken a biblical angle to it. The David versus Goliath. You can see the comparisons. Brandon, the Bulldogs, have never been in this game, while South Panola, that fan base, and those Tigers from Batesville, they expect to be in this game every year.
Yeah, every single year, and they've been here almost every single year for the last decade, minus last year. Hence, a lot of motivation for this team to get back on top of 6A here in the state of Mississippi. And Brandon, of course, maybe they are David, but they're pretty big David, I'll tell you that much. Great ball players on both sides. Brad Peterson, their coach, knows what it's like to bring teams here to Jackson and win.
Well, as for impact players, who do we need to pay attention to tonight for the Brandon Bulldogs?
I'd say it starts with Gardner Minshew, the quarterback at Brandon. Just a sophomore, but his coach, Coach Peterson, told us this week that he is maybe a once-in-a-lifetime type player. He's so tough. He runs the ball well. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns, but efficient throwing the football. 18 touchdowns on the year, and that toughness that he displays really leads these other players, even though he's the young guy on that side of the ball.
His head coach, Brad Peterson, was a pretty good quarterback himself back in high school, and he knows, and his team knows, all about what's on the line tonight and the kind of team they'll face in South Panola.
Well, you know, every year when you start the season, the first thing comes to your mind in 6A football is South Panola. You know, and they're always at the top. Coach Pogue and his staff has done a great job. You know, everybody kind of said they're down this year. They're not down this year. You know, they were starting a new quarterback, some new guys. They changed offensive coordinators, you know, so they had a little adjustment period, but now they're back to playing South Panola football.
Well, how about a key or two, Matt, for Brandon to knock off South Panola tonight?
Well, I think offensively it starts with being successful on first down. The South Panola defense is so athletic and so good, and they tackle so well that if you're in third and longs, even second and longs, you're going to free up those great players for South Panola like Antonio Connor to make plays. I think offensively, Brandon must be successful on first down plays. Defensively, Brandon must tackle well. They are aggressive. They'll bring the kitchen sink on just about every play. So when you get there, you can't allow South Panola back to break a lot of tackles. They're going to make enough yards on their own. So fundamentally sound football and defense for Brandon.
We shift our attention from the Bulldogs to the Tigers. This is going to be a tough assignment. How about an impact player? They've got a bunch of them this year for South Panola, but how's maybe one or two that we can look out for tonight?
Yeah, how's a D1 lineman or two? How's a big quarterback that can throw it? But Antonio Connor is the leader of the team. Number 12, you'll see him on defense, and primarily on defense, which is different from a year ago. He was an offensive player at tailback, but they made the decision to put him on defense, let him focus on that. That's what he'll play in college. A 5-star recruit. Everybody wants him, from Nick Saban to Hugh Freeze to Dan Mullen. They don't know who's going to get him. He's still got a lot of career left, including tonight here. And so Antonio Connor, watch for him on the field, especially in late in games and in key down situations. He is a playmaker.
We'll look forward to seeing him. How about a little insight on this year's South Panola team? Why don't we go to the head coach, Lance Pogue?
We're very balanced offensively. We're throwing the football at a high percentage, unlike some of our teams in the past, and then our running game has been very good. So we think we're very, very balanced there, two-dimensional. Defense has been playing well. Got a lot of speed on defense, and got a lot of guys running to the ball. So we just think that we're helping ourselves on both sides of the ball, playing quality defense, moving the ball and possessing the ball, and we've been able to score points.
What does South Panola have to do tonight, Matt, to wrap up another state title?
Well, I think on offense they have to protect their big quarterback, Rip Kirk. He's thrown over 20 touchdowns this year. It's been a long time since the South Panola quarterback did that. He's 230 pounds, but not very mobile. And this Brandon defense is so aggressive, a lot of blitz in any situation. So South Panola must keep him upright if they want to have a good offensive night. And defensively, I think South Panola's plan should be take away the middle of the field. Don't allow Brandon to get yards running the ball or throwing the ball in the middle of the field. Force everything they do to the sideline. Why? South Panola is so fast defensively, they can run them down if they get in a sideline match. So that'll be a key for the defense of the Tigers.
We'll look forward to seeing how that plays out here tonight. Let's introduce you to the third member of our team. Let's go down on the field and Sharita Brent.
All right, thanks, guys. Very exciting night. The energy in the stadium is amazing already. And honestly, it looks like the entire city of Brandon is here, and for a just cause. Back in 1999, it was the last time a metro area team competed for the championship. Madison Central won then, and the Clinton Arrows won. Came up as runner-ups in 2000. So both crowds for both teams are geared up and ready to go. And I don't think either team is going down without a fight tonight. Back to you guys.
All right, Sharita, thanks so much. Well, we previewed it for you. Let's say we play some championship football tonight, Class 6A style. The kickoff straight ahead here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
Classic is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. Now more than ever, it's good to be blue. Bank Plus. It's more than a name. It's a promise. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Company. And energy for the Mississippi High School Football Championships brought to you by Mississippi Peanut Growers Association.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi presents the 6th Annual Mississippi Blues Marathon, Saturday, January 5th, 2013. You can run it, walk it, or watch it, but you'll want to be a part of it. For more information or to volunteer, www.msbluesmarathon.com.
Every year, the Mississippi High School Activity Association provides opportunities for over 500,000 high school students to pursue excellence. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance is proud to play a part to keep rich traditions like the Mississippi High School Football Championships alive and well. With home offices located in Jackson and agents in all 82 counties, Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance is ready to serve your auto, home, and life needs.
For whom does the cowbell ring? For our students winning national competitions. For our faculty providing outstanding learning experiences. For our research improving our future with each new discovery. For our outreach and service touching lives every day. For whom does the cowbell ring?
It rings for all of us at Mississippi State University.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi presents the 6th Annual Mississippi Blues Marathon, Saturday, January 5th, 2013. You can run it, walk it, or watch it, but you'll want to be a part of it. For more information or to volunteer, www.msbluesmarathon.com.
Broadcast of the MHSAA football tournament on MPB is made possible in part by Chimneyville Smokehouse, smoking Mississippi since 1989. Applebee's proudly supports Mississippi high school football. By Soulshine Pizza Factory, feel the love. And by Mama Hamels, serving up scrumptious Southern comfort food. Will Colmeyer along with Matt Wyatt. Sharita Brent will be joining us throughout the night on the field. And I tell you what, it's an electric atmosphere, Matt. Even a full moon hovering over the stadium here tonight.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night, beautiful day for football. The weather has just been outstanding. And you see Lance Poe glad to have this South Panola team back here in Jackson where they feel like they belong.
Well, Lance Poe came to South Panola, folks, in 07. He won the state title in 07, lost to Meridian and Tyler Russell in 08, and then 09 they won it. And of course in 10 they won the state and national title, and then they trying to go for a state title this year, but Brad Peterson and his Bulldogs, they've got other ideas. And we are ready to kick this one off. South Panola and Brandon, and it will be Brandon that will be receiving the opening kickoff. Your kicker for South Panola is Clayton Sibley. He's a 5'8", 160-pound senior. And get ready, folks. We're ready to play some championship football, Class 6A style. And this little hooch kickoff is fumbled. I believe Brandon got on it. No sense kicking deep, Matt. We saw that this afternoon with some success.
Yeah, you know, there's some high schools around the country that they never kick the ball deep. They'll even onside kick every single time and just let their defense play wherever, or maybe get the ball back. Essentially the same move when you have a pooch kick that high. It forces them to fair catch.
Well, here's our chance, the first chance tonight to see that guy right there. That was one of the players that you're expecting to have a big game tonight. That's the quarterback, Gardner Minshew. A one-back set, and he threw to the far side, and it's incomplete. Minshew, a 58% thrower on the year, 151 out of 260. You can make that now 151 out of 261. He's thrown for better than 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns. He does have 10 interceptions. That's Davian Tillis to his right. He is a fine tailback, and we'll talk about his credentials throughout the night. Brad Peterson signaling in the play. Second down and 10. Minshew looking for the slant, deflected, and it falls incomplete.
Tight man-to-man coverage from this secondary of South Panola, 2 plays in a row. And that's what gave you the incomplete on first down. And look at the tight coverage on the slant to the quarterback's left. 1, 2, 3. But you're talking about a defender in the hip pocket of the slot receiver, and that's 16 Steven Sanford of South Panola.
Sanford, that's been a popular name through the years. A lot of Sanfords have been stars at South Panola. Let's see what Minshew can do here on a third down and 10. Not the play in the circumstance you want for an offense against the South Panola defense, and that was nearly picked off. And so it's going to be a quick 3 and out for the Bulldogs from Brandon.
And there you see the versatility of Antonio Connor. Had a chance to pick that one off. They put him back at the safety, the weak safety, and he comes over on the high ball, almost picks it off. And but a 3 and out, exactly the way South Panola wanted to start this game.
Well, one recruiting service I saw actually had Connor the 3rd best rated safety in the country. All right, in punt formation is Jim Spites. 5'11", 190-pound junior. Got the snap from John Austin Arender. And this one will be down at the 24-yard line. That's where the Tigers will start things on their first possession. Here's our first look at Rip Kirk. You being a former quarterback, I know you're anxious to see what Kirk can do. He's the junior, 6'3", 230.
Yeah, he got off to a little bit of a slow start. Came to South Panola School from playing small private school football, and it took him a little while to adjust, but boy has he. 25 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions, over 2,000 yards. He's a big 6'4", 230-pounder.
You got Kirk in the shotgun, and he'll have Darrell Henderson. He's a fine sophomore at the tailback position. Henderson has better than 1,200 yards rushing this year. Let's see what South Panola will do on first down. They give to Henderson, left side, going nowhere. Looks like he might have lost a yard or two.
And the middle linebacker, Taylor Polk, a senior, number 24, is going to kind of blow this play up. Middle of your screen, he takes on the block of the fullback, of the guard, and forces that run to go outside. Good job, middle linebacker, Taylor Polk, number 24.
He is a tackling machine, and he'll be playing in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game next month in Montgomery, Alabama. Second long, and a whistle. Down on the field, we've got our first flag of the night. The Brandon folks think it's on South Panola.
Side on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay the down.
So that'll push it back even farther for Kirk and that South Panola offense. Lance Fogg, not pleased with that. You'll see a lot of formations, more multiple college-type schemes out of his offensive coordinator, Trey Dickerson. He was his offensive coordinator 2 years ago when South Panola won the state championship. There you saw Coach Dickerson, and of course went on to win the national championship. Went to Hattiesburg last year, and he's back at South Panola this year. Little play action. Kirk looking for the long one. He's got a man wide open, and it's caught. That is Harris, DeAndre Harris. He's a big play receiver. He's got 14 touchdowns. He almost picked up number 15 there if he would have kept his balance.
Harris is 6'3", 185 pounds, and there you see the arm strength. Just put it out in front of him. Completely beats the coverage deep. Brandon hasn't seen that much this year because they get so much pressure on opposing quarterbacks. That big offensive line for South Panola did the job.
The 73rd reception of the year for Harris, and there is Henderson barreling his way inside the 25, down to near the 21. That's going to be another first down for South Panola.
And running the ball behind that big offensive line and left guard Dion Mix, number 76.
There you see what Kirk's done this year. Better than 2,100 yards, 25 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. That's a nice TD to interception ratio. Here's the give, left side Henderson, inside the 20. Behind that big offensive line, it's a line, Matt, that averages 286 pounds a person.
Yeah, and I mentioned 76 Dion Mix. He's a Mississippi State commitment. He had, early in the year, had some health issues and battled mono, and they didn't even know it. He was trying to play with it. Now that he's healthy, Coach Pogue says they're a different team with him 100% and on that offensive guard spot.
6'4", 305. The center, he's a pretty good one himself, and Terry Boyd, and he'll be snapping it to Kirk in just a moment. Second down, 6 yards to go, and this one to give Henderson left side. He's down near the 15.
That's a good job defensively to force this third down play here. They still, even though there's a tremendous size advantage for South Panola, you see 43, the nose guard defensive tackle. He's just a sophomore, and Fletcher Adams doing a good job at getting a push.
All right, third down and 3. Kirk looks like he's going to change the play up a bit here. Third down and 3. South Panola trying to score first tonight. The give left side, and Henderson is not going to get the first down. There was Polk again. How about showing your spirit tonight, folks? South Panola and Brandon fans, you can show your spirit by texting your school's keyword for South Panola, 46786. Your keyword is Gridiron 12. Brandon, your keyword is Gridiron 11. The school with the most votes at the end of the game will win a $1,000 donation from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. Standard text messaging rates apply. 1 vote per phone will be counted. We got a timeout on the field. No score. South Panola, though, in business, trying to score first.
Yeah, and Brad Peterson there wants his group to, really dig in on this play. It's a big play. South Panola showed they were going to leave the offense on the field and go for it. They have a very successful field goal kicker here at South Panola. Has done a good job. Actually, almost single-handedly won a game for them to start the year against a good 5A team in West Point. But inside the 15 of Brandon, on about the nose of the football, almost to the 13, and 4th and 2, South Panola, I think they want to go for it.
This portion, Matt, of tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Company and an official partner of the Mississippi High School Activities Association. Go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau, and they are going to go for it. And now we've got flags everywhere.
Yeah, the left tackle got out of his stance just a little bit early for South Panola, and that's unfortunate. The big guy, Justin Barksdale, you're going to see him there, bottom of your screen, just starts to rock back a little early, and in a 4th down and 2 situation, that really makes it tougher. That's going to be 4th down and about 7.
They are still going to go for it. Kirk is in the shotgun, and Henderson is the tailback. Now, they've got 2 fine receivers. We saw Harris early, but they also had C.J. Leland. He's caught 36 passes this year. The play action, Kirk back to pass, near side, and it's incomplete. So that Bulldog defense, it bent a bit, Matt, but it did not break.
Right. And on the coverage for Brandon, you see the corner, Jamison Good. He's just a junior. A tremendous size mismatch against the 6'3 receiver of Panola. And the throw is there. It's just a drop. Small window, good coverage, but look at the throw to the outside. Perfectly thrown to the outside, just in front of the first down marker. But the receiver had the big play on the drive. DeAndre Harris could not haul it in. Turnover on downs. Big play there for Brandon.
So the score remains zeros. And here on first down, here's your first look at a very talented tailback, Davian Tillis. And he spins his way near a first down. Tillis, 5'10", 185. He's a senior.
You know, there's some of that running right in the middle of that defense. Over the left guard, pulling right guard is out in front, and Tillis makes a nice run. That's what South Panola can't allow Brandon to do tonight, and that is go in the middle of that defense from tackle to tackle and make those big yards.
Tillis right there, his 235th carry of the year. He started the night with 1,281 yards. And that is another carry, this time not nearly the success rating on that. South Panola's defense was there.
Yeah, Javon Norris, number 5, came off the edge to the left side of the offense, his right on the defensive side, beat the block of the offensive lineman on that side and just went straight to the ball carrier. Big-time play. You got a bunch of high-caliber athletes, strong players on both sides tonight.
Norris with his 21st tackle of the year. Third down, Minshew going up top. He's got a man, and it's complete, and it's going to be a first down for Brandon, the first of the night for the Bulldogs. That was the tight end, Austin Jasper, making his 6th catch of the year.
What a nice job by Minshew. Excellent footwork, quick footwork off the fake, and the ball comes out on perfect timing in order to get that completion and move the chains.
Jasper, even though he's a tight end, averaging 24.6 yards a catch coming into tonight's game. He's a big play tight end for the Bulldogs. First down and 10 for Minshew. Looking far side, complete. Has room at midfield, down to the 40, and he'll be knocked down at the 20. Looked like that was Colby Williams, the 5'8", 155-pound senior. He just made a big catch, his 24th of the year.
Yeah, and just absolutely screwed the cornerback into the ground. Watch him catch and turn to the outside. Perfect throw, go to the sideline, and outrun everyone. Boy, I tell you what a nice play.
A 50-yard pass play to Colby Williams, and he's the guy that's only averaging 6.6 yards a catch. But he just upped the ante on that one. Colby there for a moment had thoughts of scoring his 2nd touchdown of the year. First down and 10. Brandon now near the red zone, and the give up the middle. Very little running room. That looked like Devin Wilson. He's 5'9", 210, a little bigger stature with Wilson, and he got a couple yards.
And LaKedrick Flowers, number 41 for South Panola. He's just 5'11", but he weighs 225 pounds, and he shot in there unblocked and nose-to-nose with his ball carrier and blew that play up.
Yeah, they tell us that Flowers is an excellent tackler, and you saw it right there. He does a nice job of holding down the middle of that Tiger defense. 2nd and 7. Minshew now under center. And the give up the middle again, and squirting free there, getting a couple extra yards. That was Wilson again. Came into tonight's game with 82 carries for 493 yards.
There's an example of staying on blocks and just continuing to push, and himself turning those legs, and third effort makes you a few yards.
Kind of reminds you of a Craig Hayward. Remember Ironhead?
Hayward.
That's right.
Big fullback. You don't see those too often anymore. Everybody's in the spread, but I like it.
Wilson now with 500 yards even now on the year rushing. Here on third down, Minshew, the pass. It falls incomplete. That was Colby Williams once again, the senior wide receiver, the intended receiver.
Well, really nowhere it looked like for me for Minshew to go with the football. May have been tipped. Play action fake, throws left. Yeah, tipped by his own man, almost intercepted. Ball was high and inside of his tight end on that out route. Austin Jasper couldn't haul it in. Field goal attempt coming up.
So with the field goal, this is Spites. He's 5'11", 190. The snap will be from Jake Olford, and Elijah Parker will hold. And this one is true. And we've got our first points of the night. It's a field goal, and Brandon has the early lead.
Excellent offensive drive. Exactly what Brandon needed. You almost feel like it's a home game for Brandon. Look at all those folks over there in red and black. And that's what they needed, was to see their team do something really good early, and that big pass play it made it happen.
Don't forget, today's games on all of the Gridiron Classic matchups are being streamed live on ESPN3.com. Nice partnership with Play On Sports. And, of course, you can check out real-time game highlights and catch all the games on demand at MHSAA network.com. Your online source for MHSAA championships. 3-zip, Brandon, the early edge on perennial power South Panola. And let's see how the Tigers will react to falling behind early in this one. It took us almost 10 minutes to have someone scratch the scoreboard. And a line drive kick taken inside the 5, up across the 40, near the 25, and that's where South Panola will have it. Looked like that was Henderson on the kickoff return.
Yeah, and South Panola offensively in this possession, they had the huge play on the big pass play that got him down in Brandon territory. Other than that, though, not a ton of yards. And, of course, the miscue on 4th down, thanks to the good play of Brad Peterson's Brandon defense.
That scoring drive for Brandon, 8 plays, 66 yards, took a little over 3 minutes. Of course, the big play was the pass from Minshew to Williams. Let's see what Rip Kirk and company will do, trailing 3-0. Kirk is a guy that has thrown for better than 2,100 yards this year, but the give left side, picking up maybe a yard and a half, and that's Henderson.
I'll tell you what, after that first possession there, you get late in that first possession for Panola. Now again on this first play, and that Brandon defensive front is digging in, starting to punch them in the mouth a little bit on that offensive line.
I'll tell you one thing, that front 3 definitely passes the look test.
Yeah.
They look the part. Kirk, 2nd down and long. Approaching 4.5 minutes left here in the first quarter. It's the 3rd of 3 games here on the opening day of the state championships in Jackson. The give, left side, has room, Henderson, and he might go. There you see the scat pat Henderson, and he's going to take it all the way to the house. 75 yards, blink, and you missed it. Henderson, the big play, does it again. His 11th touchdown run of the year. He had a 72-yard touchdown scamper earlier in the year. He betters that one by 3 yards on this one.
And look at the block by right guard, 72. Terrence Malone, the 300-pounder, sprung it. A pancake block. He pulled from his right side to the left and just flattened the blitzer off the edge and opened that hole initially. And the rest is on the South Panola scoreboard. 6-3 waiting to be 7.
Henderson, one of the Clarion Ledger's top performers this week, after 15 carries for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win last week against Madison Central. That extra point by Sibley is good. And you talk about a counterpunch, Matt Wyatt. South Panola scores quickly, and they're back up on Brad Peterson's squad.
Absolutely. Trading punches. Now it's up to Brad Peterson's bunch, and that's what he's telling his kids. Hey, we're playing well. We just gave up one big home run. What we didn't want to do defensively, but this is a long game, and he may be telling those guys, hey, if you expected to get a shutout here tonight, well, that's not going to happen. But there's still a lot of football to play. Keep your heads up, and let's go answer.
Don't forget, folks, you can own your own keepsake from this exciting matchup, as well as all of the other state championship games, by going to MISSHSAA network.com. I know the Henderson family will probably trying to purchase one because I know Darryl will want to look at that one for years to come, that long 75-yard scamper. 7-3. Again, Sibley will knock it straight up near side, and a fair catch at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Bulldogs will take over. First down and 10, trailing South Panola 7-3.
So Brandon had the opportunity to play a series with the lead on defense and gave it up. Now South Panola in that position. Now they have the lead, playing a series on defense. Let's see what they do.
Minshew starting the Knights with right at 200 yards rushing on the year, 56 carries for 199 yards. He has scored 6 touchdowns, rubbed the first down, but it would have been a manageable third down. We'll see it one more time, Matt.
Yeah, they do a nice job of getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands, and that's a catchable football. That's one where your receiver is thinking about the coverage, thinking about what am I going to do after I catch it before securing the football.
That was Dylan Knott. He's a fine wide receiver. That's an uncharacteristic drop. He's a Mississippi, Alabama all-star selection. Third down and long. Minshew across the middle, incomplete. Had a man, maybe just a tad high. The intended receiver was Colby Williams.
Well, you've got tight coverage with this South Panola defense, and you have to credit Minshew for he's putting the ball around those guys. He's kind of throwing around the coverage. He hasn't had too many guys wide open, and that's another opportunity where he's throwing it over a linebacker's head. He makes it semi-catchable for the receiver. He needs somebody to step up and make a play and have a good game catching the football. 2 opportunities missed by these Brandon receivers in that possession.
There you see Spites. He handles both the punting and kicking chores for Brandon. This punt will hit and then go sideways and down at the 37. So Rip Kirk will have some excellent field position starting this next drive, leading 7-3. We'll see if Brandon's defense can hold South Panola. This defense, pretty multiple. They like to run to the football, and they like to also force some turnovers to help the offense.
Right. You will see a lot of penetration. 24, Taylor Polt, 10, Trey Polt brothers. They'll do a lot of blitzing from those linebacker spots.
Yeah, they're pretty aggressive, no doubt about that. Kirk looking to the sidelines, getting the call from his OC, Trey Dickerson. First down, pass near side, complete, and that's C.J. Leland, his 37th catch of the year. He came into the night just under 300 yards, receiving on the year at 297. He's now over 300.
This 3-step drop game, except they're out of the gun, so he's only taking 1 step and letting it rip.
He got 8 on the play, and Leland has an average of 8.3 yards per catch, so he's right on target. They're going to give him 9. So 2nd and 1 for South Panola. Pump fake, Kirk, near side, Leland, and it's incomplete.
Boy, outstanding coverage by Dylan Knott for Brandon. And he's a big kid, 6'4", about 180 pounds, and he was just in the hip pocket of Leland, played it perfectly, no room to complete that one.
3rd and short now. Not as you might have remembered, I was talking about him as a wide receiver as well. He's a standout on both sides of the ball for Brandon. 3rd and short. Let's see what South Panola will do. Will they give to Henderson? Yes, they will. Left side, and he's not going to get it. Boy, great penetration. Was that Polk again?
Yes, Taylor Polk. He's averaging tremendous number of tackles per game. Look at him squeeze through there. Recognize, read, recognize, react. And I tell you what, just an outstanding job by Taylor Polk. 16 tackles a game coming into this one.
Yeah, he's someone very special. Here they're going for it on 4th down and 2. Well, now they're going to do a pooch punt and a flag. As Kirk, he's done that a few times this year. In fact, he's had 5 punts for almost 32.5 yards, and he would have had some great yardage on that one. Little motion issues for South Panola.
Tell you what, if he's not your regular punter, I don't know who is. A quick kick for 50 yards inside the 5.
Matt, you did that some, I remember, back in your playing days at Mississippi State.
That's about all I was good at. Pooch kicking. It's a
very
important part of the game, Will. Glad you recognize that.
I'm talking about a well-versed athlete to my right, folks. He can do it all. Quarterback, punt, you name it.
Versed and cursed.
So here's a punt for Robertson. Logan Robertson, his 38th punt of the year. His first 37 have averaged almost 35 yards. There's a fumble. South Panola was right there. They had several Tigers. Did they get it? The odds would say South Panola recovered it.
Yeah, you got basically one Brandon player in the pile of a scrum of about 5 Panola kids. They got the football 2 times tonight. That kicks have not been fielded very well by Brandon.
And here you see it one more time. The bobble by Harper. And yes, there was a ton of blue jerseys surrounding that football.
You know, and if you had a freeze frame, bless his heart, he's looking straight ahead at the defenders that are coming at him as the ball hits his hands. And that's one where you're thinking again about where am I going to go, how am I going to get hit, instead of securing the football.
So let's see if South Panola can take advantage of the miscue. Kirk in the shotgun, the give left side. Henderson spins his way inside the 30. He got some nice help from his fullback, Tyler Beard. He's a guy that will line up, Matt, as an H-back. You'll motion him. Yeah, Beard is 42. Look at him getting a little help from Beard right there.
Right, nice job. And, you know, several players on this offensive front are starting to wear on these guys for Brandon.
Pass near side. The intended receiver was Leland. It was high. And that'll set up a 3rd down for South Panola.
One thing you can say about this Brandon defense is they have figured out a way to force South Panola into some 3rd and 4th downs. They're really a tough bunch on this side.
3rd down. Let's see what Kirk and South Panola will do. You see Rip looking to the near sideline, getting the signals from his offensive coordinator, Trey Dickerson. Back to pass, calling the screen. Perfect call against the blitz, and Henderson has a 1st down inside the 20. Boy, I tell you what, the blitz came, and they had the right call.
What an outstanding call by Dickerson, the offensive coordinator, South Panola, at the perfect time. They've been bringing pressure, and this time you invite it with the screen pass. Just it's a thing of beauty when it works, and a great call at a great time.
So a 1st down for South Panola. This time Henderson tries the left side. He's down near the 15-yard line as we approach the 92nd mark, left here in the 1st quarter.
It has been a physical 1st quarter, hasn't it?
No doubt about it, and a fast one. There you see Henderson right there, having himself a whale of a night. How about over the century mark in the 1st quarter on 10 carries? Left side, Henderson inside the 15. So he adds a couple more yards to that, and there's Polk again, laying the leather on Henderson.
That's how you wrap up right there. Now standing back, we talked about Brandon's keys. They have to make some solo tackles and not have them, get second chances. There's a fine example there.
3rd down for South Panola. Leading 7-3. Kirk. They'll have 2 receivers to his right, 1 to the left. And there you see Henderson. And the pass intended for Harris down near the goal line. It's incomplete. Boy, a little extracurricular activity going on right there as Harris gets slammed to the turf.
Yeah, and that's one of those where, the South Panola fans really want a flag, but you can't really blame the defender. I got to credit these officials for not throwing the flag. The defender, for all he knows, he's trying to stop a touchdown here. He didn't know the ball was incomplete, and that's a great no call. Credit the officials.
South Panola this time, head coach Lance Pogue will try the field goal. So that means Clayton Sibley is out. He has 50 extra points this year and 7 field goals, a 30-yard attempt, and you can now give him 8 field goals on the season. And South Panola now extends its lead to 10-3. So Sibley makes it a 10-3 game in favor of South Panola late in the first quarter. And now let's see what Brad Peterson and company will do on offense. They had that early 3-0 lead. They got the early field goal, and South Panola has scored the last 10, Matt.
You know, Will, I've been here a lot of years, as have you, for different championship games, and got to say about this Brandon bunch, and of course they had a short trip here to Jackson for this one. I don't think I've ever seen a part of this Memorial Stadium as full as it is now on one side. Those Brandon folks have, I think, brought the biggest crowd I've ever seen here for one of these games.
I don't think there's any question.
Yeah.
Say, are you a high school sports fan? Join the conversation about high school sports, not only in Mississippi, but across the country. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at PlayOnSports, and check out PlayOnSports.com for comprehensive state-by-state regular season and championship coverage, including that kickoff return right there up to near the 40.
Across the 40-yard line.
10-3, South Panola leads it. Just under 22 ticks left here in the first quarter.
10 Bulldogs from the 38-yard line.
Good field position there. Take the short kick and get a short return, but going to start out there just shy of the 40-yard line on your side.
This South Panola defense last week against Bobby Hall's bunch, -1 yards they gave up against Madison Central's offense. Only 75 yards passing for Central. This South Panola defense is pretty salty. Gave up just 74 yards a week ago, just up the road last Friday night at Madison Central. But there's the pass complete. Looked like that was Elijah Parker.
Yeah, and Parker had a little something to say to the defender, I think, after he caught the ball and took that lick. The licking and kept on ticking. Just a little curl route into the zone of that defense. Perfect throw by Minshew. And hey, I got the ball. What do you think about that? 9 yards.
And that will take care of the first quarter. It's been an entertaining one. South Panola leads it 10-3. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this.
The broadcast of this game is brought to you in part by Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, Crossgates Brandon, supporting Brandon High School Bulldogs and the Mississippi High School Athletic Association. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet since 1979, Crossgates Brandon, or RogersDabbs.com.
Hometown values build big-time players in football and in life. The Smith Phillips Law Firm supports South Panola athletics and academics. There's more than one reason we call it the University of South Panola. This message brought to you by Flip Phillips and the Smith Phillips Law Firm, representing businesses and citizens throughout the state.
One morning I was driving to work. All of a sudden I got this real bad headache.
When Mary arrived, she was at death's doorstep. She had bled into her brain from a ruptured aneurysm.
I was scared because I didn't know what was going on.
We were able to quickly diagnose that, got her to our angio suite.
I just went numb because you don't think of brain surgeries and success stories. They got in there and they did the surgery and I had my mom.
Mississippi's 15 community colleges teach and train approximately 250,000 of our citizens in the course of an average year. Nearly 68% of all college freshmen in our state attend a community college. Average tuition and required fees for the academic year are just $2,242. A community college is close to wherever you live. Community colleges provide education and workforce training to help us build job skills. Community colleges in our second century, making a difference in the lives of Mississippians.
The broadcast of this game is brought to you in part by Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, Crossgates Brandon, supporting Brandon High School Bulldogs and the Mississippi High School Athletic Association. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet since 1979, Crossgates Brandon, or RogersDabbs.com.
Will Kohlmeyer, Matt Wyatt back here in Jackson. Before we start the second quarter, let's go down on the field with Sharita Brent.
Second down and a yard to go from the 47-yard line.
Corporate Communications, Shield of Mississippi. John, why is it important for Blue Cross and Blue Shield to be represented here tonight?
Well, I tell you what, this is a great place for us to be tonight because we're here celebrating these young men and the teams and the coaches and what they've done to get to this championship level. There's a lot of hard work and a lot of hard workouts that have gone into tonight's game. And we just want to promote that, support that, and encourage these players to keep that regimen of health and wellness throughout the rest of their lives.
All right, thank you. Are you enjoying the game so far?
A great time. It's a great night.
All right, thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, Sharita, we definitely do appreciate Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi and their sponsorship of these games this year. First play of the second quarter, Minshew, good extra effort. You see the strength and the power of Minshew. It looks like he might have himself a first down. Yes, he does.
Yep, well, one of the zone read looks, a wildcat look from the quarterback position where you stick the ball in there, pull it down yourself, and follow either a pulling guard or a tackle up into the hole. But good job. First down, way to convert, stay on the field a little bit, give your defense an extended rest over there.
The third first down of the night for Brandon. South Panola had 4 in the first quarter. We'll talk some more first quarter numbers right after this play, and it's a big one for Brandon. All the way down the right side, that far side of the field, and that's going to be a first down and then some. The pass to Tillis, his 10th catch of the year. And there for a moment, it looked like he was going to get his second touchdown receiving of the year.
Look at big 61 out in front trying to get the block on Tevis Flowers, number 10 for South Panola. That was Brandon Poor, the big offensive lineman. And got to credit Flowers for getting past him enough to get the ball carrier out of bounds.
A 17-yard pickup. Minshew now 4 for 10 on the night for 79 yards. Tillis up the middle, breaking a tackle, falling forward down near the 27-yard line. Tillis in the first quarter had 3 carries for 8 yards.
And here's where the rubber is going to meet the road for Brandon after getting the big first down run. Now they punch it up in their face right in the middle of that defense, make it second and short. You're knocking on that red zone where it gets tougher and tougher to move the ball.
Second down for Brandon after the 7-yard pickup. That first quarter was dominated stat-wise by South Panola, 170 yards of total offense to 76 for Brandon, but the Bulldogs have something going here in the second quarter, and the pass to the near side incomplete. That was Colby Williams, the intended receiver.
I tell you, Minshew put a lot of RPMs and miles per hour on that football, and just a little beyond the reach. Good footwork again, zips it out there, a chance for his receiver to catch it and run, but just too far out in front. And third down coming up.
You got Minshew in the shotgun. And now Tillis will actually shift to his right. Minshew looking for the screen, has Tillis, and Tillis is down inside the 10, rumbling his way down near the 5-yard line. Another first down for the Bulldogs.
Tell you what, got to be impressed with Tillis. You know, in the first quarter, he got 3 carries and only netted 8 yards. But they say, well, if he can't run it, let's throw it to him. And these screen passes are working. Excellent blocking out in front. Look at that. You got the backside safety having to come over and knock him out of bounds. Another good play call.
19 yards on the pickup. They're going to mark it just inside the 10. First and goal for the Bulldogs. Coming off a big win last week against Petal. 35-23 to win the South Half title. Minshew, pump fake, far side, incomplete. It'll be second and goal. Is that Parker, the intended receiver?
I believe it was, and that was Flowers, Tevis Flowers on the coverage, and he recovered really nicely. They gave him a pump fake. Flowers initially went for it, and then there was some separation as Parker got behind him, but he recovered in time to get there when the ball got there. Good coverage.
Second and goal for the Bulldogs. Minshew takes the handoff, takes it himself down near the 5-yard line. It's going to be third and goal. Looks like they'll mark it just inside the 5.
And again, we talked about when the rubber meets the road. Here you are knocking on the goal line. Good block on the left side. And, good tough run. So he's going to get the ball just inside the 5. 2 downs now from inside the 5 to get it in the state championship game to try to tie it up. Well, this is what this is why you play.
Under 10 minutes left in the first half. Pass to the far side, and it's incomplete. He had a man, but it was a little low on the throw. And it's going to be 4th down.
And they had the screen set up, and boy, Minshew's going to want that one back. The young man, the sophomore, has done so much to get him down the field. That's another fine play call by Brad Peterson and staff. Just couldn't get the ball to the receiver on another screen pass.
Spites is in. The 5'11", 190-pound junior. Jake Alford will do the snapping. Elijah Parker will do the holding. It'll be a 22-yard field goal attempt, and that's right down Main Street. And Brandon has cut into that South Panola lead with 9:46 left in the half. It's now 10-6.
Good drive. Answered it, couldn't tie it up. That's disappointing, but you do put some points on the board.
This portion of tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Mississippi Peanut Growers Association. They're proud to grow peanuts, which provide plenty of energy for the viewing and playing of Mississippi's high school football. Mississippi Peanut Growers Association, one of our fine sponsors to make these broadcasts possible. It's the 3rd of 3 games here so far today. We've got 3 more tomorrow. Lance Pogue and his folks now will see what they can do on offense. Still leading this game by 4.
And, both sides, that's one of those series where both sides feel pretty good about what happened. One side drives it right on down the field, gets big plays, puts up a field goal. The other, happy to hold them to a field goal from where they were on 1st and goal. So, but a 4-point ball game. I tell you what, this has been a physical first half. 2 really good, well-coached football teams.
The scoring drive for Brandon. We'll get to that in just a bit. And here's the little pooch kickoff far side, and it will trickle out of bounds. And there comes the flag.
It looked almost like Tony Connor may have touched the football before it went out of bounds, but you saw the official just kind of signal to the sideline of Brandon. No, he didn't touch it. Didn't touch it. I think that's what he was saying. Let's see. Coach Peterson is talking to the side judge. Yeah, they're saying it did go out of bounds without being touched. Therefore, they added up to put the ball at the 35, 1st and 10.
Referee getting a little upset with having some issues. That's live television. That scoring drive, and we'll talk about that right after this play. Let's see what South Panola will do on 1st down and 10. Kirk, the junior quarterback. Big kid, but he does more than just manage the game. This time, the give up the middle, going nowhere. And that Brandon defense there for the stop, right there in that middle of the defense, might have picked up a half a yard.
And look at all the gray shirts. There's 5 at the line of scrimmage, 2 linebackers coming from the second level. There are 8 defenders that on the snap of the ball all jump in the faces of those offensive linemen and get a stop.
2nd and 9, they're going to give him a yard. Kirk, near side. The ball was batted, and was it picked? I think it was. Wow. And it was an interception. That was Michael Brooks, I believe, the defensive end, 6'3", 200, the junior. He's got 6 sacks on the year, and he now has his first interception of the year.
There's one of those don't blink or you'll miss it plays. Just bats it to himself. Wow. Outstanding job. That's what your coach should do. Get a push. If you can't get there, get your hands up when the ball's thrown, and good things will happen. What a turnover at a big time for Brandon. A touchdown away from taking the lead.
Brooks is a guy that started the night with nearly 100 tackles on the year, 96. Talked about those 6 sacks. And now he has his first pick. Let's see what the Bulldogs can do off the turnover by South Panola. Minshew is going upstairs. Far side has a man caught inside the 10. I think that was Knott. Dylan Knott just picked up his 12th catch of the year, and he nearly scored. That was a pickup of 24.
You said you think it was Knott. I was going to say, yes, it is. Complete. What a throw. That's a Danny Werfel fader out, Florida. Wow. Steve Spurrier, 96. Isn't it?
We are going old school. I just thought an Ironhead Hayward reference in the first quarter, and now you come back with Danny Werfel, the former Heisman Trophy winner.
Great throw.
First and goal inside the 10. Minshew back to pass, looking across the middle, and that one was high. I think that was a good decision. Good coverage there. Let's just throw it out of bounds or off the end line, and we'll play another down.
And it's amazing how much harder it is to throw the ball. You get it down to the 10, isn't it? Because the defense has the back line of that end zone. It's almost like another big defender back there. They don't have to worry about deep coverage, so everybody can play man, and you're not worried about throwing it over your head because they can't, and there's not room. And so it's so much harder to throw the ball in here.
And that's right down South Panola's alley. They like to line up in your face, great man coverage, and they like to bring some pressure. Let's see if they'll blitz on this one. Back to pass is Minshew. Across the middle, had two men back there, and one of them catches it. Was it not? Yes, it was. Dylan Knott with his first touchdown catch of the year. And Brandon, the Bulldog fans across the way are doing some backflips.
I tell you what, this Minshew kid's got a little magic in that right arm. Look at the zip. He had two guys in the same place. If one doesn't catch it, the other one will. That time it's not. And you got to make plays. The sophomore gets him in the end zone. They take the lead.
Oh, he's juiced up, isn't he? And why not? Spites is in for the extra point. There is a flag. So hold it right here, and we'll see what the call will be. The extra point was good. And we've got a summit of sorts down on the field. Lance Pogue seeing his Tigers fall behind for the second time tonight.
You know, this is one of those where maybe the color guy, my job, we're supposed to guess or say what we thought happened. But,
I was pausing.
You know, a simple, yeah, you were open, leaving it for me. But a simple false start or offside usually doesn't take this long.
No.
Okay.
All right. Now, my wife is a good lip reader, but I don't know. Were you able to read?
It looked like he said there was a false start and an offsides that were offsetting, which would mean that they would need to re-kick.
Okay. Brad Peterson's getting an explanation. And it looks like the way he's motioning, he's telling his extra point team they've got a little meat left on the bone.
Yeah. Back down to the other end. Let's see what happened here. Didn't see it.
No, neither did I.
Had to have happened just before that clip.
There we go. Good grief. Glad it's not rush hour.
Buck Showalter down there giving signals at third base.
That would have been dangerous this afternoon over on the interstate.
Yeah, we don't need him down there at the intersection on State Street after the ball game, do we?
No, sir. Well, let's do it one more time. Spites is in for the extra point. Has that right leg nice and loose. That's Elijah Parker, the holder. And take two, and that one is good as well. So now we have a 13-10 lead, and let's take a look at that scoring drive for the Bulldogs. Just 3 plays. It went 34 yards. Didn't take very long. Of course, the big play was the interception by Brooks.
That's right. You know, you have to, if you want to pull something off, win a state championship, knock a really good team off the top of the mountain in South Panola, then you have to take advantage of turnovers. When they do happen, the rarity. I mean, 5 interceptions all year long. That's an odd one for Kirk, but that's it. And you have to put points on the board, and they do it thanks to the gritty playmaking ability of that sophomore quarterback.
Yeah, he's special. Only a sophomore.
And a ton of velocity he can put on the football. You know, I'm impressed with his footwork. You can tell he's been really well coached to anticipate where the ball should go. There's never any question there in his mind, and he zips it around the field. It's fun to watch.
Henderson is deep for this kick from Spites. And it's to the near side, picked up at the 30, up to near the 36 was Leland. He got tattooed there.
Yeah, that's it's kind of been the theme today. It's almost like you're seeing in high school football, the art of the deep kickoff is out the window, and everybody trying to make something happen with those really high pitch kicks in this time of school. I mean, when you get good coverage like that, look, I mean, you're starting on the 36. Previous possession started on the 35.
You being a former quarterback, you'd take that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Start me at the 35 all day long. I feel good about that.
There's Rip Kirk. A nice look at the junior. Let's see how he will respond from that interception by Brooks on the last play. They give to Henderson, right side, spinning across the 40. A very positive pickup of nearly 6 by Henderson.
This is an interesting time in the game. You know, there's 8.5 minutes to go till half. We've had some lead changes. Both teams have responded when they got behind. Fell behind so far in this first half. Can South Panola do it again?
That's definitely good marks of a very good coach team. The counterpunch, and there's Henderson left side up near the 44-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 2 coming up for the folks from Batesville.
And Trey Polk had a chance to get a tackle for loss there, but Henderson, credit that guy, number 8 in blue, just running right through the arm tackle.
There you see Trey right there. 88 tackles starting the night, having a fine senior campaign. Here's the give up the middle, and good second effort. And look at that extra surge, and it's going to be a first down for South Panola.
And the big offensive lineman, Darian Rayford, the starting right guard, 6'3", 290, got him behind and pushed. You see that he's the right tackle, actually. They run by him, and he'll come in the left side of your screen. Boom! Knock him forward over the first down stick.
And a first down for South Panola. Henderson with the carry on that play. This time they fake it to Henderson, rolling to his right, and that's going to be picked off. Kirk has had back-to-back possessions with picks, and Brandon has it right at the midfield stripe. Was that Polk? Yes, it was. Taylor Polk.
Good night.
His second interception of the year. Let's look at it one more time.
Play action left, bootleg right. It was a naked boot. They didn't block the defensive end. He tries to force it in there to the receiver at the second level and throws it right to Polk. Never saw him. The linebacker's got good hands. What does that guy not do?
I'll tell you what, now there's been some talk, the reason he's not getting a lot of D1 offers is because of his size. At 5'11", 6 feet, 195, but sometimes it's more than just the frame.
Football player.
That's right.
That's what he is. I'll take 11 of him.
That's right. He's an absolute animal on defense, and he has really made some plays again tonight for the Bulldogs. Minshew, far side, has a man complete. That's a tough throw, Matt.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a great throw. And number 12 on the tackle, that's Tony Connor. Your All-American, the number 3 safety in the country. Watch him fly to the football, full speed, but because of the arm strength, can't get there in time. And I'm telling you, I could see from my vantage point, Connor read the play right off the bat. He was thinking he had an interception. Ball got there too quick.
Jasper with the pickup and a first down for Brandon. The give to the left side, maybe a yard and a half. As we're now under 7 minutes left here in the first half, Brandon with the ball, leading by a field goal.
You know, you don't go conservative if you're Brad Peterson, thinking, let's just go to halftime leading 13-10. We got the football on South Panola's side of the field. We have the momentum. You put the foot on the gas, but you challenge your guys, let's make yards running the ball. Let's don't put it in the air any more than we have to right here.
2nd down and 9 for the Bulldogs. Far side, man open, pass caught, first down, Brandon.
You know what's going on, too, is Brandon is showing a screen look. They're showing a little pump. Watch him show his shoulders, little pump, to make it look like we're throwing the screen, but instead throw it up to the field to the guy who normally is blocking on a screen play. They've done it 2 times in a row on this possession.
Jasper with a pair of catches, 6'2", 185, just a junior, Austin Jasper. First down, Brandon now looking for some more points inside the 25 of South Panola. First down and 10. And the give up the middle. Very little running room for Tillis.
That's a good first down play. When you're throwing the ball successfully, you're on your opponent's end of the field and you have a lead, you hand that thing off, make 2.5 to 3 yards on first down. Hey, that's a good first down play. Just like we talked about in our keys, have some success, do what you want to do on first down.
Let's see what Minshew, you see his numbers on the night, 9 of 19, over 150 yards passing already. Here's a little flanker screen, caught inside the 20-yard line. He'll be about 5 yards shy of a first down.
And I tell you what, somebody in that melee really took a shot. Don't know if it was a defender coming across. A lot of times you'll see those defenders that they hit their own guy, both going for the ball carrier. They throw the screen. It's a tunnel screen back in the middle, and then several guys take a shot at the end. They all popped up. That's good to see.
Colby Williams, another catch for the senior for Brandon. Third down, 5 to go for the Dogs inside the red zone. And now Brad Peterson wants to talk it over. Big play coming up for Brandon. He wants to tack on some more points. No need for a miscue here.
Right, and it's a good time to use a timeout if you're Brandon, I think, because one of the things that'll be said in this huddle, if they're thinking about throwing the ball on 3rd and 5, probably is, take a breath, talk to your quarterback and say, hey, look, we're going to put it in the air. But if we're going to do that, make sure it's open. If it's not, sail it up there in the 4th row. We'll kick a field goal, but don't take a chance in this situation. It's okay to call a timeout. Tell your sophomore quarterback that. If it's a running play, hey, just give them a breather. Let them get a little rest, and then go out there and see how if we can fire off the ball better after getting a shot of water.
Matt, I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of memories made here tonight, and you can own your own keepsake from this exciting matchup between South Panola and Brandon, as well as all of the state championship games down here in Jackson, by going to MISSHSAAnetwork.com. MISSHSAAnetwork.com. Buy yourself a DVD, and you'll be able to play this one over and over, more than just in your mind, for years to come. After the timeout, Brandon now will set it up. Looks like they're going to have a couple backs in the backfield for Minshew. 2 receivers to the top of the screen, and there's the give. Room to run and a touchdown to score. That was by Tillis, and Brandon has scored one more time, this time from 18 yards out. 19-10, pending the extra point.
Look at 15, leading the hole, but there's nobody to block. That gives you an indication that everybody in front did their job. Not to mention, you had a defender on that side that just overran the play.
And Tillis, his 19th touchdown of the year. Well over 1,350 yards rushing now on the year, and an extra point has now made it a 20-10 game in favor of Brandon. And look at the folks from just down the road in Brandon. They are loving it. 4:43 left in this first half. And if you're Brad Peterson, you're not smiling on the outside, but on the inside, it's got to be satisfying to see his team go 50 yards on 6 plays. Took a little over 2.5 minutes. And once again, they take advantage of a South Panola turnover.
Absolutely. Take that turnover 2 times in a row now and turn it into touchdowns. Not just points, but stick it in the end zone. Well coached. That's a confident team, a physical team. When the coach says, here's what we're doing, they go execute it. I'm impressed with this Brandon football team.
Lance Pogue and his Tigers. Good shot down there on the sidelines. Boy, we got a terrific crew again working these state championship games. Great partnership between Mississippi Public Broadcasting, the MHSAA, of course, Play On Sports, and our friends from ESPN3 also broadcasting this game as well on the World Wide Web. 4:43 left here in the first half. And Rip Kirk and his offense getting some last-second instructions from their offensive coach, Trey Dickerson.
You know, and if you're Brandon defensively, what do? I mean, you think, okay, well, let's go prevent. No. Do you keep the pressure on? I think so.
14 points off of those 2 turnovers on the last 2 possessions for Brandon. A pair of Kirk picks, and Brandon's offense has taken advantage. We talked about it early on that this Brandon defense likes to force turnovers for their offense, and they've done that. And there, they have done a nice job of stuffing that run.
Taylor Polk. Wow. He takes on a guy that outweighs him by 50 pounds or more and just goes right through him. Right-hand side of your screen. Boom. Stiff arms the pulling offensive lineman. That's Deion Mix, a D1 headed to the SEC lineman. Didn't get the block. He makes the play.
How about the 9 tackles already for Taylor Polk tonight? The pass was complete. That's going to be a first down, and that's what South Panola definitely needed there. That's Harris, the fine senior receiver. Starting the night with 72 catches for over 1,100 yards.
There's that protection we talked about. Plenty of time there to throw the comeback route for Rip Kirk. Protect that big guy, give him time. He's going to make some plays for you.
That Harris is a very big physical type receiver with also some speed. That's a dynamic combination. We have a few flags on the field. Let's go downstairs.
Offside. The defense. Yard penalty.
So an offsides. That'll help the South Panola cause. We'll move the ball across the 40 up to the 41-yard line against Brad Peterson's Bulldogs. 1st and 5 for South Panola.
You know, Brandon started this game primarily with a 3-man defensive front. They've gone to 4 now.
The handoff on the delay to Henderson. Maybe a yard, possibly 2. 2nd and short for South Panola.
You know, and Rip Kirk needs to get in this huddle and challenge those big offensive linemen to start firing off the ball. They have such a tremendous size advantage, but they're not necessarily using it.
Parker had that last tackle for Brandon. Here's a screen pass set up near side. Complete inside Brandon territory. The pass completed to Henderson. Henderson started the night with 12 catches for 180 yards. He got another one there.
We've seen so many great South Panola running backs. Nick Parker, those type of guys come into these games and have huge nights in a state championship game. And he's having a big one. He's throwing those screen passes. He's hard to tackle. He's already over 100 yards rushing.
There it is. Kirk Henderson this time on the ground. Inside the 45, down to the 43. Plenty of spirit out here tonight from both sides. And we want you to show your spirit by texting your school's keyword to 46786. South Panola, your keyword is Gridiron 12. Brandon, your keyword is Gridiron 11. The school with the most votes at the end of the game will win a $1,000 donation from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. Standard text rates apply, and a big play there by Harris in South Panola.
Yep, the hitch and go, a pump fake to try to get the corner to bite. Watch the pump fake right there, corner bites, and then throw it up before the safety can get there right on the sideline. Nice job.
27 yards on the completion from Kirk to Harris. In the red zone now, first down for South Panola. Henderson inside the 15, and that's where he was hit there at about the 14-yard line.
And I tell you what, South Panola's coaches and Trey Dickerson, offensive coordinator, are going to tell their tight ends, when you get upfield and there's nobody to block, turn back inside, and we're going to spring some big runs. Because that time, you know, they had it blocked well. tight end gets to the second level, but all those linebackers had already jumped into the line of scrimmage and made the play. The tight end's got to turn back inside and look for somebody to hit.
Timeout for Brandon. And a little emotion on the sidelines. South Panola not used to this. You know, they're undefeated against Mississippi schools this year. Their only 2 losses are to 2 teams that are still undefeated that are both ranked in the top 20 nationally.
Right. And also those losses came during times playing without Deion Mix, but he's 100% healthy now.
We're big into the social media, you and I, Matt.
Yep.
You're a high school sports fan. Join the conversation about high school sports, not only in Mississippi, but from across the country. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Play On Sports. And check out playonsports.com for comprehensive state-by-state, regular season, and championship coverage. I tell you what, you can't beat social media. It's the name of the game these days, isn't it?
Well, see, I was silent there. I was tweeting.
Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I tell you what, it is fun, and it's a way of getting the word out. Here's the give. Henderson down near the 12-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and long. Under 2.5 to go here in the first half. Brandon still leading in a 2-possession game now at 20-10.
There's a big 3rd down play right here for South Panola.
Let's see what Kirk and company will do. They like to show me, don't they? They hunt and then look toward the sidelines, and then Trey Dickerson will signal in a play. That offensive line that averages 286 yards per person trying to block, and the pass near side, caught, touchdown, South Panola, and that is Henderson. The tailback making the catch, and South Panola has cut it to 4.
Yep, and they isolated Henderson against Trey Polk. You see number 10, he goes left. Right out of the screen, he's the one that's trying to cover the back. He got there in time, but Henderson just outplayed him for the football. And why did Trey Polk stay in the middle and not immediately go with a running back? It's because a quarterback, Rip Kirk, kept his eyes in the middle of the field, and that held him there for a split second enough to make that a touchdown on the edge.
Sibley's extra point is good, and South Panola has cut it to 3. Well, I tell you what, the eyes, very important for a quarterback. You see the scoring drive, 9 plays, 80 yards, just under 3 minutes. It took South Panola to cut it from a 10-point deficit down to just 3.
Yeah, and that's a really a shot in the arm for this South Panola team and their crowd, who've been here a bunch, but they haven't trailed too often when they've played in games here, especially not by 2 scores. So to get it back to a field goal game, potentially going into halftime, a big, take a bite out of that Brandon momentum for the time being.
You talk about a model of consistency, folks. I know, Matt, you and I did some homework this week, did a lot of research. Since 1993, South Panola, this game tonight is their 14th championship game in the last 20 years. 14 out of the last 20. Are you kidding me? And they've won 9 state titles, gunning for number 10 tonight.
Right. And, after the season they had a year ago, in which they did not make it here, struggled a little bit offensively, had a different quarterback situation. And their rival up in North Mississippi in their own division, Olive Branch, came here and won the thing last year. There was a lot of, whispers and wondering, hey, is this, are they starting to go backward? Well, no. They're right back where they feel like they belong with a chance to win another title tonight.
You saw Henderson's numbers just a moment ago, over 150 yards of total offense here in the first half and a pair of touchdowns. Let's see what Minshew will do. Across the middle, nearly picked. Wow, that was so close. Deflected. That was Harris, the fine receiver for South Panola, playing a little DB and just about got a pick 6.
Got to be careful when things don't develop quickly. Yeah, see Minshew there. He thought, I'm going to throw it behind the linebacker after he passes, but you've been staring it down enough to where the safety comes over.
Keep in mind, Brandon, with $1:46 left in the first half, the Bulldogs are out of timeouts.
Yeah.
Let's see what they'll do here on this drive. 2nd down and 10. High snap. Minshew got it. And a fumble. Who's got it? South Panola says it has it. Let's wait before we make it official, and there you have the official call. South Panola gets the turnover, and now the folks to the near side from Batesville loving it, and they'll try to respond to try to get some points off of turnovers like Brandon did earlier in this quarter.
Yeah, 2 plays, 2 should have been, 1 is a turnover. And excellent job to get in there and recover the football by 41 LaKedrick Flowers, but it was 89 Daryl Davis that's going to, watch the nose guard come off the football right here. Off the ball, beats the block, gets in there, blows it up, and forces a fumble. Excellent defense.
Yeah, Davis, he's one of those disruptors on the defensive line. Big fella, 6'2", 310. He'll be playing in the Bernard Blackwell All-Star game down in Gulfport next month. Kirk and South Panola has 1:40 to put some points on the board. They give to Henderson down to the 35, a pickup of 2 on first down. South Panola does have its full allotment of timeouts with 3.
And plenty of time, 1:20 left in the half. They've run that counter play back to the right side, the short side of the field, a bunch of times here in the second quarter.
Kirk last week, 17 of 24 for 232 and 2 touchdowns against Madison Central. He's got a man. He's got another touchdown. This time it's to DeAndre Harris. And Harris has just caught his 15th touchdown of the season, a 35-yard scoring strike.
Well, that's an out and up. Earlier they hit the big play on the hitch and go, a pump fake, the corner bites, and this time they run a little out and up. Again, just a little bit of a pump and a perfect throw from the big guy, Rip Kirk. Can't walk out there and hand it to him any better than that. Excellent route as well.
And so Harris has a touchdown, and just like that, bang, bang, South Panola trailing by 10, now leading by 4 after the extra point by Sibley. Lance Polk says, hey, that's the way it's supposed to be going on right now. They weren't used to that 10-point deficit. But there's Harris getting some love from his teammates, and why not? He's a big play receiver. And he'll be playing in that Bernard Blackwell All-Star, that North-South showdown in about 3 weeks down in Gulfport.
I tell you what, we got ourselves a ball game. We've had we've had 4 quarters worth of plays made in 2. I can only imagine what the second half is going to be like.
Deuce, just a pair of plays it took South Panola to score. 37 yards they went. Took a little over a half a minute. Didn't need to use any timeouts on that scoring drive. And Sibley is out to kick it off. And there's one of the multiple pooch kicks. And boy, I'll tell you what, who got lit up down there? Was that Trey Polk? Yes. Yeah. Wow. Now, and this is Colmeyer speaking, and I didn't play in the SEC like you, but I would think I would go with a fair catch right there.
Yeah, fair catch that thing. Yeah, to avoid the lick.
Save your sternum.
Right. And, they've kicked it to Polk just about every single time. And again, you see more and more teams that are doing that, eliminating all those big collisions, right? Isn't that right?
Yes, that's right.
Based on the play we just saw? Nope.
Yeah. Well, Brandon with no timeouts. 1 minute left in the game. Minshew has thrown for 162 yards on his 10 completions. There's a give up the middle. That's Wilson. He rumbles up to the 40. Give him 8 on the play.
Well, he's listed, Wilson is, at 210 pounds.
No way.
And all I can say is I want to be weighed on the scale that he got weighed on.
I lost weight if that was the case at Thanksgiving. Here's the give to Wilson one more time. I know we're on the top floor here, but looking down and some of the shots that our camera crew has provided, he's 230.
Yeah, he's 220-pound kid easily. And, the previous run, the safety came in there and thought about hitting him and then dove at his ankles. I would have done the same thing.
First down and 10 for Brandon Minshew. Far side, pass complete. The problem is the clock will continue to run. That pass was complete. But I'm not sure, Brandon, they're going to have to hustle to get another playoff here. Under 10, under 5. This will be the last play of the first half. Minshew, the pass, incomplete. And there is Antonio Connor. And he gave Dylan Knott something to think about at halftime. And there is a flag afterwards. So hold on, folks. Hold on. That's a defensive penalty to end the half. I don't think you can end the half, can you?
Yeah, and you're not supposed to be able to, but the issue is a personal foul will be a dead ball. What they're arguing, Will, is the throat slash.
Yes.
What Lance Pogue is saying is, no, he did something across his chest, like he's pulling his shirt open or whatever, as opposed to the old throat slash deal. He disagrees with the call. And I honestly can see how the official from behind might have thought that's what he was doing.
And it looks like, now I did do a pretty good job, I think, reading the lips there. The penalty will be applied to start the second half.
Right.
So Lance Pogue and South Panola leads it 24-20 at the half. It looks like Sharita Brent has Coach Pogue. Let's send it downstairs.
Coach, it was a very exciting first half. What are the Tigers doing right for you right now?
Well, we got off to a decent start. We've had 2 turnovers. It's terrible. You can't do that. And then 2 interceptions. But we weathered their storm a little bit. They got up 10. We scored 2 quick ones. I think we've kind of caught our second win a little bit and got our composure. But they're a good football team. They're explosive. It's going to be a heck of a second half.
Absolutely, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Sharita. That's vintage Coach Pogue there, folks. We're at the break, and we've got a terrific halftime show for you. We'll take a timeout, though. With a full moon overlooking the stadium, it's South Panola leading at the break, 24-20.
This game is brought to you in part by Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, Crossgates Brandon, supporting Brandon High School Bulldogs and the Mississippi High School Athletic Association. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet since 1979, Crossgates Brandon or RogersDabbs.com.
Hometown values build big-time players in football and in life. The Smith Phillips Law Firm supports South Panola athletics and academics. There's more than one reason we call it the University of South Panola. This message brought to you by Flip Phillips and the Smith Phillips Law Firm, representing businesses and citizens throughout the state.
I'm currently suffering from a severe traumatic brain injury. I just want to give up so bad, but I can't. I've got to fight on. This is a text message that caused a car accident that changed my life forever.
Hometown values build big-time players in football and in life. The Smith Phillips Law Firm supports South Panola athletics and academics. There's more than one reason we call it the University of South Panola. This message brought to you by Flip Phillips and the Smith Phillips Law Firm, representing businesses and citizens throughout the state.
The broadcast of this game is brought to you in part by Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, Crossgates Brandon, supporting Brandon High School Bulldogs and the Mississippi High School Athletic Association. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet since 1979, Crossgates Brandon or RogersDabbs.com.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi.
There you see the Brandon High School Band finishing up their halftime show.
With home offices located in Jackson and agents in all 82 counties, Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance is ready to serve your auto, home, and life needs.
What if Eli Manning had never played football?
Thanks, keep the change.
Sweet.
Hi.
Even if Eli wasn't a star, he'd still be treated like one at Bank Plus.
Hey, you forgot my breadsticks!
Bank Plus. It's more than a name, it's a promise.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi presents the 6th annual Mississippi Blues Marathon, Saturday, January 5th, 2013. You can run it, walk it, or watch it, but you'll want to be a part of it. For more information or to volunteer, www.msbluesmarathon.com.
Gridiron Classic is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. Now more than ever, it's good to be blue. Bank Plus. It's more than a name. It's a promise. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Company. And energy for the Mississippi High School Football Championships brought to you by Mississippi Peanut Growers Association.
Will Colmeyer alongside Matt Wyatt. We're still at half. South Panola gunning for its 10th state title, leading by 4. Speaking of South Panola, let's go downstairs and enjoy the Tiger Marching Band.
second, third effort. Gutsy run by Henderson.
So on first down, it's Henderson one more time. Right side down to the 45-yard line. Give Henderson 4 more.
You know, with each team committing those 2 turnovers in the first half, it's really obvious they both move the football. They haven't really been stopped by their opponent very often. They just have stopped themselves. Both teams have.
South Panola now over 300 yards of total offense tonight. Screen pass, near side. Henderson knocked out of bounds at the 42. He'll be 3 yards shy of that South Panola first down.
Elijah Parker made a tackle going backwards that time. Tackled him with the back of his helmet as opposed to the front. Look at him, trying his best to get out there and got blocked into the ball carrier, but stayed on his feet enough to get him out of bounds.
Parker now with over 100 tackles on the year thanks to his efforts in the first half, and that one right there. 3rd and short. 3rd down for South Panola. 3 to go. Quick pass near side, complete. First down for the Tigers at around the 35-yard line, and that was DeAndre Harris making yet another catch, his 5th of the night.
It's obvious that South Panola likes the matchup of Harris against Good. Jamison Good, the corner. Harris won that battle some in the first half, and now they're giving him a cushion out here.
Henderson up the middle, and he takes it inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line, and that's a pickup of 6, possibly 7 more for Henderson. He's only a sophomore.
Just a sophomore. 2 sophomores offensively in this game that are so impressive. Henderson for South Panola, and Minshew, the quarterback for Brandon. Look at him run through that tackle as well.
Here's the pass into the end zone. Harris, the intended receiver, and it's incomplete. Harris drew double coverage, but that pass was almost completed for 6 more. And now Harris looks like he's a little gimpy. Looks like he's holding his hamstring. Let's watch it one more time, Matt.
Boy, great coverage. Jamison Good had positioned the junior out in front. He wanted to make the play and intercept that ball. Excellent coverage there to force the 3rd down play here from South Panola coming up.
You're right, that free safety, Harper, couldn't quite get over there fast enough, so it was up to Good. He was on an island, and he came up with a big play. 3rd down for South Panola. Inside the 30. It's Kirk now finding his way back into the shotgun position. He'll have 2 receivers to the near side, but they give to Henderson. Left side behind that big offensive line, and he is going to be very close to a first down. It just depends. Is it going to be a left foot or a right foot mark?
Right. You know, they put it just inside the 25. You would think that it's just a little bit short based on where the sticks are on the other side. They're going to have to measure to see for sure. At any rate, it's going to be either first down or 4th and very, very short.
You know, our fine statistician, Brian Eubank, great job on the stats, but he also says, hey, it's 3 inches short, he said.
Okay.
We'll see if UB is on target on that one. He's done a great job all night. He provides all of these stats for us. And let's see, what kind of, I'll tell you what, he's pretty doggone close, huh? Did you not eat your carrots growing up, partner? That just shows you the power of carrots.
Short.
Yeah, 3 inches short.
How'd you know that, Yubi? That's impressive.
Oh, man, and he's eating the humble pie. Look at him right now. So Lance Pogue says, we're going for it. Let's get those 3 inches and get a first down just inside the 25. There is some movement, and now look, they're going to change some personnel. Look who the big fella's coming out there now. That's Darrell Davis, the defensive tackle, 6'2", 310, the senior. And now they're going to call a timeout.
Some confusion there, though.
Yes.
Players thinking one thing. Guys lining up on the field because the play clock was ticking down, and so they couldn't get out of the game at that point and had to burn a timeout.
Matt, this portion of tonight's contest is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Be strong, be healthy, be blue. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi, it's good to be blue. South Panola.
It's good to be blue.
They got blue and red.
Kermit said it ain't easy being green.
No.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield says it's good to be blue.
That's exactly right. But I'll tell you what, it's been anything but a blue night. Very festive evening here in the capital city. Not too far away from the state capitol here in Jackson. We got 3 more games tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that 5A contest that we'll have in the prime time tomorrow night between Starkville and Pascagoula.
Yeah, be a return trip for Starkville. We saw them last year against Picayune. Really surprised. Congrats, though, to see that Pascagoula was able to knock off Picayune this year.
All right, here we go. The 4th and inches and a fumble. It's on the ground, and Brandon has it. Even after the timeout, wow. That was not what Lance Pogue and his offensive coordinator, Trey Dickerson, had drawn up. And boy, look at the Brandon fans across the way. They are digging that state. You know, you got a shot at recapturing this game tonight over and over again. You know how you can do that, Matt? You purchase a DVD. You can own your own keepsake from this exciting matchup in 6A, along with all of our other state championships, by going to MHSAA network.com. Get yourself a DVD. I know I'm getting a couple. Here is Kirk in the shotgun. A little pump fake near side, looking for Harris up around midfield. It's overthrown. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Tigers.
I'll tell you again, just outstanding coverage from Jameson Good. It's twice now in the 3rd quarter they tried to run that pump fake, hitch and go at him and get the deep ball. He's learned at halftime. Talked about it. Credit the young man, the junior, for not giving it up this half so far.
Harris is the receiver down at the bottom of your screen, folks. There's a good shot over the shoulder of Dickerson, the offensive coordinator. He's going to throw to the near side, and did Harris get it? Looked like the pass was deflected around the line. Brandon is saying it's incomplete. The official, though,
it looks like the official is going to give him the reception at the spot. Was looking for help on the call, but didn't get it from the back judge, who had a better view. Ball did get tipped, and it does look like maybe he got his arms under. Probably a good call here. 3rd down.
Circus catch there by Harris, but it does set up a 3rd and long for Rick Kirk. 6'3", 230. The junior back to pass. Screen near side, and covered up. No chance for Henderson on that one. And let's see, was that Elijah Parker?
That's him.
Parker near double digits with tackles tonight.
Yeah, read the screen right away. Just jumped outside of the block of the big guard, the tackle, 72, Terrence Malone. And just saw a screen the whole way, read it, and threw it for no gain and forcing the punt. Good job.
Parker started the night 3rd on the team in tackles. Of course, you had Polk with 148 started the night. Then you had Brooks, the defensive end. He had 96. And then Parker started the evening with 94. This punt by Robertson taken far side with room inside the 45, down near the 40. How about that for a nifty return by Tillis, Darian Tillis.
Yeah, we've seen Tillis make a bunch of plays on defense. I'll tell you what, get the ball in his hands. That was a really nice run in the open field. So really just, excellent speed and quickness and good starting position. That was a nice punt, but the return has Brandon really good starting position in South Panola territory.
The Bulldogs still trailing the Tigers by 4. Brandon, its first ever appearance in this state championship clash, and they are representing their school very well tonight. Pass to the near side. It was complete to Kobe Williams.
Both these quarterbacks will have such strong arms, especially that little sophomore there in Minshew, that this ought to be automatic, even against tight man-to-man. 5-yard hitch, throw it outside, make the catch.
Let's see what Minshew will do on a 2nd down and 5 scenario. Pump fake, pressure, and going down. And that looked like that was Matt Davis. If that was Davis, yes it was. That's his 5th sack of the year. Over 50 tackles now on the year. He's 6'2", 245, just a junior, Matt.
Spin move and to the inside. Gave him his inside shoulder, but on the spin move, then it just kind of went right on into the inside. Little land shark pose after making the sack. 3rd and long for Brandon.
Had a few of those poses last Saturday night in Oxford. 3rd down and long for Brandon. The Bulldogs make the catch near side. Dylan Knott down
he got the first down.
I think he did, Matt.
Second effort. Makes the catch. Spins back to the inside and makes 4 more yards. Watch. Perfect throw to the outside. Catch it with your hands. Actually didn't spin. Just broke the tackle. Poor tackling on the corner there. And a move to go get the sticks. It's going to be 4th and about half a yard, looks like.
Not 6'4", 175. They like to throw the ball up in the air and let him play jump ball. But he did a nice job on that one. Has speed to burn. So now 4th and short. We've seen a lot of 4th down attempts tonight. Some have been converted. Brandon hoping for that here. The Bulldogs against a 4-man front from South Panola. 4th and short. Minshew calling his own number. Has the first down and maybe 4 or 5 more. He just needed a yard, and he picked up about 5 and a first down at the 28.
Good play call. You know, and they get the call from the sideline, and I think what Brad Peterson is looking at is how many guys are in the box. And right there, really only 6 defenders in the box. 5. Only 4 linemen and a linebacker in there. Everybody else was spread out. He says, run the ball, go make the yards.
Here's Minshew. Has a man wide open, but it's incomplete. Breaking free was one of the wide receivers, Elijah Parker. And sometimes, Matt, you being a former quarterback, those sometimes when you see a guy breaking free that open.
Yeah, shot of adrenaline.
Right.
And the ball comes off hot.
A little giddy up.
Yeah, it's that's one of those don't miss a layup. You're all by yourself, and it's all right, though. 2nd and 10.
Let's see what the Bulldogs will do. They'll actually have 3 receivers to the top of your screen, but they're going to run it to Tillich. Breaking a tackle at the line of scrimmage and falling forward down near the 21-yard line. A solid pickup there. It'll be a 3rd down and a very manageable 3 to go for a first down for the Bulldogs.
Watch number 7, South Panola, Deshaun Lindsay, come in there and make the tackle. If he doesn't do that, it is a first down. Brandon forces a 3rd down play. Good job by Lindsay.
2 seniors and 3 juniors on that offensive line for Brandon. Of course, David Mahaffey, their fine left guard, will be playing in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game next month down in Montgomery. The center, though, is Daniel Updike, and he snaps it to Minshew. His pass across the middle is incomplete.
Boy, and I tell you, Minshew, great read. I started to say before the snap, look at all those defenders on the line. No safeties in the middle. He sees it, knows that's where he wants to go with the ball, just rushes it just a bit. And there's no safeties in there. You know there's nobody deep. So in that situation, the sophomore will learn nothing wrong in that situation, putting it on air under it. Shoot a 3-pointer at the goalpost and let him run underneath.
Brandon will go for it on 4th down again. Minshew called his own number just moments ago on a 4th and short and got the first down. Let's see what the Brandon Bulldogs will do here. See if he'll read. Now South Panola just with a 4-man front, so they pass the ball, and it's incomplete, and so South Panola gets it back on the turnover on downs. Let's look at it one more time.
Yeah, just missed him behind, and that's one where I think you've got the quarterback thinking, okay, it's zone coverage. And so my tight end is going to sit down in that little zone there, and that's where I'm throwing the ball. And the tight end, though, turned and goes out. And that's what they're talking about is, why if it's zone, he shouldn't turn and run into that defender, just hook up in that zone. And I'm sure that's the discussion right now.
So now the Tigers get it on downs. After 44 points were scored in the first half, we only have 2 minutes and some change left here in the third. Still no scoring in this frame. And South Panola with the ball and a 4-point lead. 2 receivers for Kirk on the near side, but the handoff to Henderson. And he breaks free in the backfield, changes directions to the near side, breaks another tackle up to the 30, and he's very close to a first down. Boy, he ran about 45 yards on that play, but he almost got himself a 10-yard pickup. Let's see where they're going to mark it. How about the change of direction for the sophomore, the Scat Pack?
Well, you can't finger tackle, arm tackle, hand tackle that guy. And two defenders got there with a chance for tackle for loss, but they're trying to grab the jersey as opposed to headbutting him and wrapping up.
The give up the middle on second down and short, and a first down coming up for South Panola. No problem running behind the line for Henderson. We mentioned about Mahaffey, the fine guard for Brandon. The left guard for South Panola, in case you're just joining us, Dion Mix. He's a Mississippi State commit. He'll be playing in that Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game next month as well. Henderson, left side, up to the 35, and that's where he gets hit by a wall of Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's been a little while since Rip Kirk put the ball in the air. He threw a couple of incompletions so far in the second half, and that's about it. Nice day throwing it. He's 12 of 20 on the day so far. Has the 2 touchdowns, 178 yards at this point, but also has the 2 interceptions in the first half.
Kirk still with Henderson in the backfield. With Darius Strong, who had a big 44-yard touchdown scamper last week against Madison Central, has yet to carry. In fact, no other South Panola besides Henderson has rushed the ball tonight. Pass near side, incomplete. And under a minute now left here in the third quarter. It's third down and long for Lance Pogue's Tigers.
You know, so often young quarterbacks, they just have to learn those screen plays. They're just extended handoffs. It's not where you're trying to make a play with your arm. You just got to throw a catchable ball and allow the receiver to catch it and make the play himself.
2 receivers for Kirk near side, and a flanker screen to Harris, breaking a couple tackles. Almost broke free, but Polk was not going to let him go. But still a pickup up to near the 45-yard line and a first down for South Panola.
Good play call. The screen passes have been very good to this South Panola offense tonight.
There you see a couple different views of the pass to DeAndre Harris. You can see why he is a big play guy. He'll be playing in that Bernard Blackwell All-Star game, the North versus the South in Mississippi. That'll be on the 22nd of December down in Gulfport. Henderson bouncing and getting wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. They might give him forward progress back to the original line of scrimmage, and they will. No gain on the play, and that might be the last play here of the third quarter. And it looks like South Panola is content. Wow, after an explosive first half where we saw 44 points scored, we got a couple bagels in the third quarter. Nobody scored. All that means is we got a fantastic finish. Straight ahead, folks, here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting.
Every year, the Mississippi High School Activity Association provides opportunities for over 500,000 high school students to pursue excellence. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance is proud to play a part to keep rich traditions like the Mississippi High School Football Championships alive and well. With home offices located in Jackson and agents in all 82 counties, Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance is ready to serve your auto, home, and life needs.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi presents the 6th annual Mississippi Blues Marathon, Saturday, January 5th, 2013. You can run it, walk it, or watch it, but you'll want to be a part of it. For more information or to volunteer, www.msbluesmarathon.com.
What if Eli Manning had never played football?
Let's do this.
Even if Eli wasn't a star, he'd still be treated like one at Bank Plus. Bank Plus. It's more than a name, it's a promise.
Every year, the Mississippi High School Activity Association provides opportunities for over 500,000 high school students to pursue excellence. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance is proud to play a part to keep rich traditions like the Mississippi High School Football Championships alive and well. With home offices located in Jackson and agents in all 82 counties, Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance is ready to serve your auto, home, and life needs.
Will Colmeyer, Matt Wyatt back here in Jackson. Before we start the fourth quarter, let's go downstairs to Sharita. She's going to be talking to a person with the last name of Poe.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm here with Mary Grace Dickerson. Her dad is on the coaching staff at South Panola. Mary, how did your dad prepare for tonight's game?
He would go over film, find the weak spots, and work on that. He would draw out plays, and then his tradition is he wears the same pants and the same shirt to every game. He thinks he gives me good luck.
All right, do you think South Panola is going to win tonight?
It's going to be close, so we'll see.
All right, thanks, guys. Back to you.
All right.
Man,
how about that for an analyst?
Can you tell she has been in the film room with Dad, right down to his tradition of the same pants and shirt.
How about that? A little coach speak there at the end, too.
It's going to be close.
I'll tell you what. Let's see what will happen here in the fourth quarter. I'm looking for a great fourth quarter finish here between these two fine programs. And the give on second down and long going nowhere for South Panola.
And I guarantee you, something talked about in this Brandon defensive huddle during the changeover to the fourth, if they're in a passing situation, pull up on the rush and think screen pass. They've hurt us with that. Let's see what happens.
That was Ryan Lee, the sophomore, that had that last carry. There's the pump fake, near side, picked off. Kirk was picked off with room to run inside the 40. Down to the 35, getting lit up, but a big interception and return for Brandon. That was one of their backup DBs. That's Pat, Justin Pat. Boy, he is not a starter, but he just came up with a big-time play for Brandon.
Came over from his safety spot, and when he sees it again, they've seen it so many times tonight, and that's the pump and go, a hitch and go, or an out and up. And this time he just jumps all over it, and the ball's in the air way too long. Big return, Brandon in business inside the South Panola 35.
Well, the first two interceptions by Kirk tonight resulted in Brandon touchdowns. Let's see if the Bulldogs can go for the hat trick. There's a pump fake. Minshew has a man. That's Williams, but he fumbles it inside the 15. A scramble. Who's got it? It looks like Brandon might be able to still keep possession.
Yeah. Wow. Johnny on the spot, number 7. Austin Jasper, the tight end, the biggest play he's made all night long so far, in my opinion. Has a few receptions. But that fumble recovery, huge for his team.
Here you see it one more time. Minshew finds Colby Williams, and the senior took it inside the 15, got hit, fumbled it, and there you see number 7 right there, just dove on it, and boy, a big-time play. There is an injured Bulldog down on the field. And we'll try to get a number.
I think that's Donald Somerville, the wide receiver. He's a senior.
Yes.
He's walking almost like, it's a cramp. We saw that in the early game today. It's just, it's warmer out there on the field than it is for us up in the stands, certainly. We've got jackets on. Those guys are working their tails off there tonight in this 6A title game.
1st and 10, just outside the 10 for Brandon. You've got Tillis right behind Minshew, and then just off to the right of Minshew is Devin Wilson. And here's the give up the middle, maneuvering his way down near the 5-yard line. And boy, Brandon is in business again. It's Tillis carrying, and he is getting close to 70 yards rushing tonight.
Yeah, it's so interesting that he's had such a productive game running the ball. You look up after 3 quarters, and he only had 50 yards. It's hard to, you think, where did all of his yards go? It's just not been in big chunks, but he's had some very meaningful runs at big times.
2nd and 4 at the 5. Once again, Tillis But this time they're going to go to the far side in the end zone, and it's incomplete. They went for the fade, Matt, on the far side, and they went for Dylan Knott. We talked about that Brandon likes to throw it up and play jump ball with Dylan Knott.
Yep. Only issue is the ball comes out just a little late. Now, he did put it in that end zone and give his guy a chance, but, when you're in the gun and you're only 5 yards away, if the quarterback takes the snap out of shotgun and then takes 2 or 3 more steps before he throws it, it's just not, the timing's off. He's got to catch that ball, put it in the back of the end zone right away.
So it's 3rd down and 4. South Panola obviously will try to hold and make it still a one-possession game if Brandon kicks a field goal. Brandon trying to make it a 2-possession game. Minshew, he's got a man in the end zone, and it's incomplete. How about that play defensively by number 5? That's Javon Norris. He's the defensive end on coverage, Matt.
Yeah, they roll away, and how big of a heads-up play is this by Norris? To run with the tight end, stay with his responsibility, and trail him into the end zone and make that play. That is as smart a football play as you'll see by a linebacker/defensive end ever in high school football. Attaboy Norris.
Just a junior, 6'1", 210, and it will force the field goal attempt, and Spates drills it. And Brandon now makes it a 7-point game, but for the South Panola faithful that aren't here cheering on the Tigers, watching on TV, it's got to be still a somewhat of a win because you're still a one-possession game.
Absolutely. One-possession game. What else would you expect the way this one has gone? 2 really good football teams. And if anybody that's here that attended the 6A final a year ago between Petal and Olive Branch, that one came down to a really intense, odd, last-second field goal situation itself. I wonder if we'll see the same thing here in about 10 minutes.
All right, here, of course, this portion of the game is brought to you in part by Farm Bureau. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Company is an official partner of the Mississippi High School Activities Association. Go with the home team, folks. Farm Bureau Insurance. South Panola now leads 24-23. For some reason, Colmeyer had a slight brain cramp there, and I had it a one-possession game. South Panola up by 7. My arithmetic were a little messed up, but I wasn't looking toward Eubank. Brian Eubank would have straightened me out in a hurry. We got it straightened out. It's a 1-point lead for South Panola. And a hit.
Good night.
Man, there's some colliding out there on this field.
That's going to be a 15-yard personal foul. Either horse collar or a face mask, one or the other.
Personal foul, face mask.
Yes.
On the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Dangerous tackle right here. Just reaching out, trying to get a hand on the ball. I don't think it's an intentional clothesline by the coverage unit there, Michael Brooks. Just one where he just happened to grab the first thing to get a hand on. It was the face mask. It's the right call. Glad that Henderson's okay.
South Panola now using that 15-yard penalty will start this possession at its own 46-yard line. First down and 10. Kirk and company lead it by a point, 24-23. Handoff left side. Going nowhere is Henderson. And South Panola starting this quarter with a 358 to 250 edge in total offense, though. Brandon, though, has made some big plays defensively tonight.
We haven't mentioned his name enough, but 94, Kyle Strickland, a defensive end, a junior for Brandon, 6'4", 225, has done an outstanding job tonight. You've seen 94 time after time get up out of the pile where the tackle was made.
How about 8 tackles on the night for Strickland? He came in tonight with 73 tackles on the year. He's the 6'4", 225-pound junior. Very tall, rangy defensive end. And again, it's Henderson. And again, it's no gain.
Yep, and who's getting up off the ground there? 94. Again, Kyle Strickland. Big guy, 6'4", 225. And he's lining up in there also at times next to Fletcher Adams, the sophomore, at 6'3", 260, who's from a very athletic family. This defensive front for Brandon's done a fine job so far.
3rd and long for South Panola. Kirk, near side, has Harris caught breaking a tackle inside the 40, fumble. The ball is on the field. Brandon says it has it, and it does.
Wow.
The Bulldogs get the big play defensively after the completion to Harris. And South Panola would have had it first down and 10 inside the 40, but the strip and the fumble recovery.
And a career stat line for Taylor Polk, had fumble recovery as well. I'm pretty sure it's Darian Tillis, number 2, that came in and knocked it out, according to the official. Yeah, South Panola fans are going to see that replay and think, oh, his knee was down. There's no replay in high school ball, and Polk gets the recovery. Another turnover for South Panola, the 4th of the game.
Taylor Polk, boy, I tell you what, he has played his heart out. His last game in a Brandon Bulldog uniform. First down and 10. They're going to mark it at the 40. Brandon Minshew will just throw it in the dirt. Smart play because South Panola, well, I tell you what, Davis and company sniffed out that screen pass, didn't they?
Yeah, somebody held up the running back that they're trying to get it to there, Devin Tillis, or he didn't run screen. That's what it looked like to me. It just was several players on a different page on that first down play.
Second down and 10 for Brandon. Minshew, 12 of 28 now through the air. And there's the give up near midfield. A solid pickup on 2nd and 10. It'll be 3rd down and about 2.5 yards to go. That was Tillis one more time.
And Steven Sanford saved a first down run. He's number 16, bottom of your screen, trailing it, gets around the legs, gets him to the ground. And, of course, Connor in there. Who else on the tackle to force a 3rd and short?
Connor, we have not seen him. He'll play a little wildcat on offense, but Lance Polk and company haven't had that one opportunity to put Connor in that wildcat tonight. Makes a big play defensively, sets up 3rd down and short. Minshew tries to do it himself, and he's going to be shy of that first down. He has to get just onto the South Panola side of midfield, and you can tell by the mark he is shy of the 49, and it's 4th and about 1.5 yards.
4th and 1.5 yards. Are you going to go for it? Are you going to punt it away and play defense with 7 minutes, 40 seconds to play? 1-point ball game, trailing by 1 in the 6A championship game. What's it going to be?
Well, it looks like Spates is out. The junior, he's going to punt it. Maybe try to hem South Panola deep inside Tiger territory. And now it's up to what kind of punt. Oh, they're faking it. Did they get it? It looks like the mark is looking like it will be enough.
Yeah, according to the mark. And did we just have a fumble, Ruski? Was that the play?
A little trickery.
It's a first down. The ball never got even to the up back on the play, Will. We'll have to see the replay. It's one of those, I'm looking back at the punter waiting on the snap. That's it.
It is.
He snaps it between his legs and holds it there for the up back to grab it and go make the first. What a call. Woo! Brad Peterson.
Jevin Wilson is a man that's had several big carries tonight, and he comes through with a big first down carry there. A little trickeration, a little gimmick there in the 4th quarter. And gives Brandon the first down. Minshew across the middle has the man complete. Inside the 40, another first down for the Bulldogs near the 35-yard line. And that was Colby Williams one more time.
You know, and there's the middle of the field. He looks one sideline, a receiver wide open in the middle of the field, and that's an area where Brandon has an advantage. You're not having to deal with the speed of Panola when Brandon goes vertical on offense.
13 yards on the pickup from Minshew to Williams. 1st and 10 at the 36. The give to the up man, and Wilson maybe a half a yard.
You know, and I think Brandon for sure is thinking, hold on to this possession. At the very least, try a go-ahead field goal, but you're at least 1 first down away from that. So you have to stay intense, stay focused offensively, and make the right play calls, because nothing is a given against this South Panola defense and their athletes when you've only got the ball to the 35 right now.
2nd down and 9. This is a balanced offense for Brandon this year. Averaging 107 through the air per game and 130 on the ground, and that pass was deflected. The intended receiver was the tight end Austin Jasper, and usually that ball gets deflected in the midsection of the field. It usually means interception, but not this time.
You know, we have not seen any kind of draw plays from this offensive Brandon tonight, and this is a good situation for that in 3rd and 9. You have run some screens, and you're in 4-down territory right here, I think, even if you don't get it. You just need to make positive yards.
3rd and 9 at the South Panola 35. 2 receivers to the top of your screen for Minshew. And he's got Tillis to his left. He's going to look for Tillis on the screen, and South Panola read it. And there were a couple Tigers there, but the guy that was leading was Lakedrick Flowers, the senior. And he made a big-time play there. They call him Tank.
Yep, left-hand side of your screen. Recognize it, sees it, runs right by the big offensive lineman that's trying to get out there to set up the screen, and forces this 4th down play. Brandon forced to go for it. 5 minutes, 10 seconds to play.
Tillis now feels why they call Flowers Tank. He was hit by a tank on that one. Minshew, 4th down and 11, scrambling. Near side, he's going to try to run for the 1st down. He's going to make a Tiger miss. He made one miss, but he's going to be shy of the 1st down. South Panola will get it over on downs.
That's right.
Been a yard shy, maybe a yard and a half shy.
And I want to tell you something. If anybody else in the state of Mississippi is playing safety for South Panola other than Tony Connor, I think Minshew runs for the 1st down, but unbelievable closing speed by number 12 Connor from the safety position to come over and make that stop short of the 1st down stick. That's where that tremendous athletic ability just showed up and made a play for you.
Connor, a guy that's been playing since his freshman season.
Top of your screen, and when he releases, now watch Connor close. Turn on that 4-3 speed and go right to the ball and make him check up. If Connor does not make that play, it's a 1st down, Brandon.
There's a reason why Connor is listed as an athlete on the South Panola roster.
In the truest sense of the word.
I believe he's got Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and LSU for his 5 visits. Pretty strong company right there. And there's the give on 1st down for South Panola. Henderson takes it across the 30. And with a 1-point lead, if you're Lance Hogan Company, you're trying to milk the clock a little bit, aren't you?
That's right. Hand that ball off and start to try to wear on him a little bit. And that's where you hope that right now you can light a spark under these big offensive linemen to use their size advantage and eat up the remaining 4.5 minutes.
Kirk in the shotgun. And yes, they are eating most of the play clock. It's down to 5 now. 3, 2, 1. They just beat the play clock. The handoff to Henderson up to the 35-yard line. He's going to be just shy, maybe a couple yards shy of that 1st down.
And Brandon's got all 3 timeouts and not in a position yet right now to have to use one on 3rd and short. But if South Panola is able to convert here, you would think that you are in a situation that you start to use those things.
They're very proud of their offensive line. Let's see if they'll run behind it. Now there's a flag. It looked like that left side of the line to the near side, Matt, had a little movement.
Sure did.
Might have been Beard. Tyler Beard, their fine sophomore fullback. He's the H-back. Caught a big touchdown pass in the playoffs on a 4th and 2 for South Panola, but I think he got busted there. And so that'll set up a 3rd down. A little longer now for South Panola.
3rd and 7.
It's like 3rd and 7 for the Tigers. Under 3.5 minutes left in this Class 6A state championship. South Panola hanging on, leading by the slimmest of margins. 24-23. Kirk, long one to Harris, and it's incomplete. Boy, I tell you what, a nice throw. Had a lot of air on that one, but just maybe a little too much ball's incomplete just ahead of Harris.
In the corner, good, and the safety Pack. Watch them retreat and cover it up. Not a lot of room to throw it in there. Also not a whole lot of room for Harris to turn and make the play. Big-time defensive stop for Brandon.
And that incomplete pass stops the clock, so now it's with 3:09.
That's huge.
That is very big. It's almost like a free timeout for Brandon. Logan Robertson, the punter for South Panola. And this one will be caught and fumbled and recovered by South Panola. Oh, a costly turnover on special teams for the Bulldogs.
And all you got to do is field that punt. You don't have to catch it and make a big return. And there's nothing wrong with trying to make a play. But I tell you what, in that situation, you're just trying to get the ball back. And you have to field that punt. Tough mistake for the young man from Brandon. Huge sigh of relief and breath of fresh air for the South Panola team, who's going to recover it and be 1st and 10 at Brandon's 35-yard line.
So South Panola with under 3 to go.
Wow.
South Panola going for its 10th state title. The 9 they have is more than any other high school in the state of Mississippi. They're going to try to hit double digits tonight. They've got to hold on for less than 3 minutes. They give to Henderson inside the 30 and a timeout for Brandon. South Panola playing in its 14th state title tussle in the last 20 years. It's been quite a run, started back in 1993. 2:53 left. Today's game and all of the Gridiron Classic matchups are being streamed live on ESPN3.com. And of course, you can also check out real-time game highlights and catch all of the games on demand at MHSAA Network.com, your online source for Mississippi High School Activities Association Championships, MHSAA. And South Panola trying to add to their trophy case. Lance Poe came to South Panola back in 2007. He has played for a state title in 5 of the 6 years. The only one that he wasn't was last year. He won it in 07, lost to Tyler Russell, the fine quarterback at Mississippi State and Meridian in 08. They won it in 09. Of course, that 2010 team from South Panola won the state and national title, and now they're trying to win a crown here tonight. In 2012, they give to Henderson, left side, has the first down, and that is a big first down for South Panola, as they'll be able to eat some more clock and try to shorten this game, Matt.
That's right. And interesting that you had a defensive call where Coach Peterson had to go out on the field and tell his players what to do. That was Jake Alford, the senior, that went over to get the instructions. And so that clock moving now inside of 2:40, 1st and 10 South Panola. Brandon with 2 timeouts.
Kirk in the shotgun. Beard is just to his left, and Henderson is the tailback, and he's going to run right behind Beard. And he takes it, and he breaks free, and he will score a touchdown for South Panola. With 2:19 left in this ball game, never played at the level of football that you played at, Matt.
Right.
But did it not seem like it looked like that was almost too easy, that maybe keep it a one-possession game and let Brandon have a shot at coming back with 2 minutes left in this game?
You know, everybody at the line of scrimmage in those last 2 plays, an unconventional, almost goal line type defense, and it just didn't work. But that time, nobody really moving around much for Brandon. So the extra point makes it an 8-point game, and so at least now you're getting the ball back, and you have to score, go for 2, get it to try to tie. Hard to imagine anybody lets a team score in that situation, especially with timeouts remaining, but stranger things have happened.
We've had a fantastic finish last year. We might have one again here tonight. Now, tomorrow, we've got 3 more games, and we've got a terrific lineup. And it starts at 11 tomorrow morning in Class 3A. Hazelhurst trying to run the table this year. Charleston, the defending state champs, will try to hand Hazelhurst the loss. That's the 11 o'clock game. At 3 o'clock, it'll be Greene County against Noxubee County. Boy, those Tigers from Macon have been unbelievable this year. They also will start tomorrow with a perfect record. And then the game you and I will have tomorrow night, it'll be the 5A primetime game, Starkville and Pascagoula.
That's right. Great lineup for Saturday here, as you saw. 2 undefeated teams playing in those early 2 games. And, of course, the big 5A matchup, a return trip here tomorrow night for Starkville. After falling to Picayune a year ago, it's Pascagoula who comes up here now from the coast this year.
And here on the kickoff, we've got whistles everywhere. And a timeout for South Panola.
Timeout. South Panola. Their second time out of the second half.
We talked about tomorrow's slate. Boy, we've had the game that you had with Russ Robinson today. Boy, it was a terrific game. Stringer comes back to edge French Camp. Stringer wins its 4th state title. French Camp was looking for its first ever state title. And then Bassfield, very impressive against Eupora, winning the 2A crown.
Yeah.
Facebook and Twitter. We're all about some social media here. And if you're a high school sports fan, you need to remember this. Join the conversation about high school sports, not only here in the Magnolia State, but from across the country. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at PlayOnSports, and then you can check out PlayOnSports.com for comprehensive state-by-state regular season and championship coverage. Play On Sports, what a great partnership. That company out of Atlanta, they have become the production when it comes to high school sports in this country, teaming up with the folks here at Mississippi Public Broadcasting. And now we'll try it again, the kickoff. This time it was fair caught by Parker.
You know, that's one where I thought that Lance Pogue was calling the timeout for South Panola to not go with the pooch kick, get his coverage unit ready to go and kick it deep in hopes of maybe forcing Brandon to have a lot farther to go down the field to try to score, go for 2, tie this thing up. But instead, they came back out and actually kicked it higher and shorter, and maybe in hopes of getting the ball back. I don't know, but starting at the 37, not bad for Brandon here.
Minshew and Brandon, 2 timeouts for the Bulldogs. He'll have 2 receivers to the top of the screen, and he's looking that way. And it's almost intercepted, and it falls incomplete. It looked like Ephraim Kitchens, number 37, had a shot at that interception.
He sure did, right through his hands, and almost tipped it to the tight end running the corner route, and that's Elijah Parker.
Kitchens had 3 interceptions on the year coming into tonight's game. That was almost number 4. He's had several key picks this year. Positions himself well against those wide receivers. Pretty good open field tackler as well. But he couldn't quite haul in the interception, which would have salted this win for South Panola. And now we've got a whistle. And South Panola calls another timeout with 2:13 left in this game. Lance Pogue and his Tigers leading by 8, but it's still a 1-possession game.
Yeah. You know, that's I think that's a good use of the timeout if you're South Panola. You have the 8-point lead in the ball game, and no need in taking that timeout home with you. Use it, continue to discuss things, hopefully thwart this comeback attempt by Brandon.
Plenty of highlights in this one tonight. In fact, you can keep these memories for a lifetime. You can own your own keepsake from this exciting matchup, as well as all of the other state championship games down here in Jackson, by going to MHSAA network.com. That's the way you can purchase a DVD of not only this game, but any of the other 5. Of course, this is the 6th year that Mississippi Public Broadcasting has been broadcasting these state championships. A terrific lineup of 6 games this weekend. Stringer and Bassfield have already wrapped up state titles earlier today. South Panola is in great shape here. Here's Minshew across the middle. And the Bulldogs say, wait a second, Will, we still have 2 minutes left in this ball game. And that pass was complete. Was that to Dylan Knott? Yes, it was.
Yeah, to Knott. He's had some big catches tonight, including that touchdown in the first half that's going to go on his highlight reel. Minshew, continue to work, step up, stay behind the line. That's a good job. Throw it over the head of the linebacker.
15 yards on the pickup from Minshew to Knott. And here's a run left side. Almost got away, but not quite. Was that Connor once again making the tackle?
Yep, Connor in there. Big open field tackle right there. He's turned it up a notch when he's had to.
10 tackles on the night for Connor. Came into tonight's game with 69 tackles, 17 pass deflections this year. Screen pass left side, inside the 40, but shy of a first down. Under 90 seconds left in this Class 6A state championship.
It's going to be 3rd and short, 4-down territory, no doubt about it. So make sure you look at it that way if you're watching at home. And inside of a minute 15.
Minshew will get his team to the line, and he's going to call his own number. Hesitation, but he does have the first down. He's not the fastest runner, but he's a tough runner, Matt.
Yeah, and just very, very smart and confident running the football. That's the most important thing, and he protects it as well. And yeah, first down, moving the chain. So ball at the 35, and plenty of time. It's a minute and 3 left on the clock. They're going to run it as soon as they spot the ball and get ready. Plenty of time, though, to get the ball into the end zone from this spot, especially with 2 timeouts still on the clock. I tell you, I think Brad Peterson and the Brandon staff have done a masterful job of doing what they have to do to give themselves a chance to stay alive in this game. Preserve timeouts, use them when you have to. They've done a great job.
There's an injured Bulldog across the way. And that's number 70.
Yeah, that's going to be Jake Alford, who's a senior, 6 feet tall, 265 is what he's listed at. Plays O-line and D-line for this Bulldog team.
There's the line on Minshew tonight. 17 out of 37 through the airwaves. Almost 225 yards. He does have a touchdown. Those 225 have put him over 2,000 for the year. There's a pass to the far side. There is a flag. There was definite contact with the receiver, Colby Williams, and that might have been Ephraim Kitchens.
Yeah, Kitchens, you know, it looked like he may have tripped up the receiver a little bit. If he had the receiver's jersey, if he at any point while the ball was in the air reached and grabbed the receiver, it was right in front of the side judge over there, and that's who threw the flag.
Pass interference. 15-yard penalty. First down.
15 yards, Matt Wyatt. We see it one more time.
Tell you what, that's you know, based on the replay, you just can't see it as to whether there were any major contact or not.
Minshew, near side, in the end zone, and is it picked? Yes, it is. An interception by Tevis Flowers, and Flowers comes up with a big-time play. He's the tall, athletic, rangy cover guy. Had 40 pass deflections on the year, started the night, and that's his 4th interception, but none any bigger than that one.
That's it. That's going to seal it. Going the fade route. If you're going to throw that, and Minshew's just a sophomore, he'll learn that. If you're going to throw that, it has to be out there to that back pylon where the only guy that can get it is your receiver running under it. If it's underthrown and the coverage is to the inside and underneath, it's interception all day long. And a big play for Flowers in the right place at the right time.
And look at Flowers. Loving it. He'll be buying one of those DVDs. He can show his kids, grandkids, how he helped South Panola win a state title. The 10th in the school history. A quick timeout after the carry by Henderson. The timeout by Brandon. And the Bulldogs are down to just one more.
what a ball game this has been. And what a game for Lance Pogue and these South Panola kids. They have withstood every possible punch that Brandon could throw at them tonight. Brandon,
let's go, that's 10, baby, that's 10.
I know it sounds like moral victory talk, and it's not. They wanted to win the game, certainly, but they have absolutely nothing to hold their head about at all in this ball game tonight. They brought their A game. They are well coached. They play as hard as anybody I've seen, college, high school, whatever. And that guy right there is doing a great job. I mean, they hustle, they run to the football, hit, make plays, and he's telling his guys, nothing for you to hang your head about. I'm proud of you, and he should be. And South Panola, they just made the plays.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brandon playing in his first ever state championship game against perennial power South Panola, a team that has made its 14th trip in the last 20 years down here to Jackson. We talked about the biblical angle on our pregame show, the David versus Goliath.
Yep.
Brandon had a great game plan tonight.
Yeah.
Had the lead there for a while. But that victory formation will wrap it up for South Panola.
And I think, I don't think it was a David versus Goliath. I think it was just a heavyweight bout here in 6A. I think it's two very evenly matched teams, and I think one team just made a few more plays than the other. It was a game of turnovers, but they were created turnovers. They weren't just giveaways. Both teams got after each other. Heavyweight bout. What a game.
It really was. You saw Lance Pogue walking off with Trey Dickerson. He was the offensive coordinator on that 2010 staff that won the state and national titles. Then he went to Hattiesburg as the head coach last year. Had a good year at Hattiesburg, but came back this year to be the offensive coordinator. And when Lance Pogue coached the East Squad in that Army All-Star game after that 2010 season, he brought Dickerson as one of his assistants for the East Squad in that National All-Star Classic in San Antonio. They are very tight, as is that entire South Panola family, and they are enjoying the reaps of their efforts tonight. The 2012 Class 6A champion, 13-2 on the year, and if you go back to late September, South Panola just 2-2 on the year. They lost to Hoover, they lost to Bentonville, Arkansas, and they weren't even ranked in the Mississippi top 20.
Right.
Where they came roaring back, they ran the table.
Well, rankings are just that. That's all they are. And this is a heck of a football team, full of great players.
Let's go down to Sharita Brent. She's got a very happy head coach.
All right, thanks, guys. Coach, it was a close game, especially late in the quarter. How did you guys pull it off?
Well, it was a turnover fest. They turned it over and we turned it over, and sloppy game at times, but both teams played their heart and guts out. We just found a way to grind it out, got a few stops under some tough conditions, but Brandon's a heck of a football team. They deserve a lot of credit, but I'm so proud of our guys. We faced a lot of adversity this year, and sometimes you got to win games like this. It takes a lot of heart. You got to reach down and find a little more when things don't go your way. Our guys have got that, and this is a special group of kids.
All right, thanks, Coach. Very happy Coach Pogue and South Panola team. Back to you guys.
All right, Sharita, and congratulations to Coach Pogue and the South Panola Tigers. We've got a post-game report coming up right after this. South Panola is your champion this year in 6A.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi presents the 6th annual Mississippi Blues Marathon, Saturday, January 5th, 2013. You can run it, walk it, or watch it, but you'll want to be a part of it. For more information or to volunteer, www.msbluesmarathon.com.
Every year, the Mississippi High School Activity Association provides opportunities for over 500,000 high school students to pursue excellence. Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance is proud to play a part to keep rich traditions like the Mississippi High School Football Championships alive and well. With home offices located in Jackson and agents in all 82 counties, Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance is ready to serve your auto, home, and life needs.
Hometown values build big-time players in football and in life. The Smith Phillips Law Firm supports South Panola athletics and academics. There's more than one reason we call it the University of South Panola. This message brought to you by Flip Phillips and the Smith Phillips Law Firm, representing businesses and citizens throughout the state.
E-learning for educators in partnership with Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Improved teacher knowledge. Improved teaching practices. Increased student achievement. Online professional development for educators. Earn CEU credit. Fits easily in your schedule from the convenience of your home. Register for courses now at www.mpbonline.org. Inspired teaching, inspiring students.
Will Kohlmeyer, Matt Wyatt back here, and the move of the game brought to you by our friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's the touchdown run by Henderson to salt it. 31-23, South Panola.
Yeah, and that's I think that gave South Panola their biggest lead of the ball game, and that was the last score of the ball game. They stretched it out, but still a one-possession game even after that. Made it interesting.
Congratulations to the winner of the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi Gridiron Classic Text to Win. It's South Panola. They win the Class 6A crown on the field, and they also win the Text to Win. They will receive a $1,000 donation from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. So now it's time to celebrate the trophy celebration for South Panola as they win this Gridiron Classic by 8 over Brandon. Some final numbers, Matt, as we see the celebration continuing.
Yeah, what a night for Antonio Connor defensively for South Panola. 10 tackles, a sack, another tackle for loss, 2 pass breakups.
Don't forget tomorrow, we got another trio of games. It's 3A, 4A, and 5A here in Jackson. Hazelhurst and Charleston colliding at 11 a.m. And then Noxubee County and Greene County at 3. And then our primetime game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, Starkville and Pascagoula. Look at us celebrating down on the field, man.
If you don't think it means something, then you go get down in there in the middle of that mosh pit.
Oh, what a scene. These are lifetimes for a memory. I'm telling you what, memories for a lifetime. I'll get it right. South Panola wins it over Brandon, and I think we're ready for the trophies. The ceremony down on the field. Those Tigers are taking full advantage of their airtime here tonight. Get a little pub for Panola.
A very balanced night offensively for South Panola. More so than Brandon. South Panola, 214 yards on the ground, 202 through the air. So 416 total yards tonight. How about this, though? Our totals have 67 plays run by Brandon, 67 run by South Panola. Brandon threw for 223. They had total yards of 344 on the night. Just a really even matchup, and it was just a battle of turnovers, and Brandon committed the one at the very end that allowed South Panola to seal the game, take a knee, and go home with the trophy.
John Sewell down there from Blue Cross Blue Shield handing the trophy to Lance Pope. That's happened quite a bit in Coach Pope's career, but I bet it doesn't get old.
No. It's a new experience each time, I guarantee you, and just as sweet as ever, because it's, sometimes we don't realize it from the press box or from the stands what a grind a season is, starting way back in August, but even before that, back in the summer, lifting weights and getting ready and going through 2-a-day practices, which are not fun for anyone, and all the grind. That's a great win, great season.
Well, that'll do it for Matt Wyatt, for Sharita Brent, for our statistician, Brian Eubank, and this entire crew of ours. Lights out performances today, folks. And we got 3 more tomorrow. This is Will Kohlmeyer saying so long from Jackson, and congrats to South Panola, our 6A champion this year in Mississippi.
Hey!